Bitboy, Bill, Ian. How's everyone doing?
All right, all right, all right.
All right.
All
Good.
right,
All
all
right.
right, all right.
Bitcoin 23K.
All right, all right, all
All
right.
right. So
All
this
right,
is
all right,
being
all right.
streamed to pretty much all the channels. So we have audiences coming in from everywhere. So I think pretty much just kind of kick things off maybe by doing quick intros since we kind of have different audiences. How about Bitboy? How about doing a quick intro?
Hi, my name is Ben. I run Bitboy Crypto. Welcome to this live stream. Glad to have you. So if you guys don't know my channel, then I don't know what the heck you're doing. You should know about it. Come subscribe. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Let's get a Crypto Love.
All right, what's up? My name is Randall from Crypto Love. I've been YouTubing since August of 2017. Just broke 100,000 subscribers, thank God. And yeah, that's all.
Wait, 100,000?
100,000, right?
Oh man, that's a dilemma right there. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm finally in the big boy crew.
Yeah. And Coach K?
Hey guys, I'm Coach K. I've been, around crypto for a few years, I guess now, and you may see me on a couple other channels with Crypto Ran and with these boys. And I'm CMO of AnarchyX, just came out, which is an interesting project with gaming. And I'm a big fan of a lot of projects. One that Bitboy just joined apparently called Ferrum Network.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hey.
I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, thank you so much for making it. We know the time is not the best time for you.
It's 6 a.m. So it's kind of early,
yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
Gets
but
my day started early.
But all right. Bill?
Hi, I'm Bill. I'm the technical analyst for Token Metrics. I help our customers with all things charts.
All right. And I'm Ian Balina, founder and CEO of Token Metrics, also known as Diary of a Made Man. All right. So let's start the show. What do you guys think about Bitcoin right now? Do you think this is the top, or are we just getting started?
I think we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people really realize the exponential function and the halving of Bitcoin and what that's going to do now that every institution is buying up 0.1% of all the Bitcoin out there. So we have 1,000 institutions that buy Bitcoin. There's all the Bitcoin gone. So I think it's really I don't think we're even seeing the beginning of what's happening from these institutions. We're just seeing kind of the retail FOMO effects of seeing the institutions buy. And it's probably not for a few years where we're really going to see the price take off because of this.
Yeah, I think, when you look at the numbers, like I love to talk about this number, and this is a number a lot of people don't know we're talking about, which is
69.
69. That's 34 plus 35. Thank you, Ariana Grande. So the thing is here is that 210%. That's how much Bitcoin that Grayscale, PayPal, Square, and one other company. I don't think it's Microsoft.
Cash App.
What's that?
Cash App.
Yeah, well, that's Square. The PayPal, Square, I believe it's MicroStrategy and Grayscale. Between those four companies, they're buying 210% of all Bitcoin being mined daily. Now, obviously, that doesn't make any sense because while you would think you could give 110% effort in a game, you can't actually do that. Math doesn't allow 210%. So what that means is, out of all of the Bitcoin that's being mined every day, 900 per day, they're buying 1,980 of them. Meaning they're buying up the total supply that's being created daily, plus they're dipping back into the circulating supply. And that's just four companies, My voice is a little sore. I've been yelling at the Falcons all day. But, that's more than is being made. And that math just equates to eventually there's not going to be any left. And the retail investors might possibly be left behind. So I think that really tells the story. And I know a lot of people who are investing, family members that have heard me talk about Bitcoin forever, like they're finally getting on board, and they're getting on board because they see the money printing. They see it. People see it now. They understand it makes sense to them. It's not just all FOMO, but all these people are having the same thought, which is, oh God, should I get out any moment? Like it's pumping, like they're making a lot of money. Like they make $20,000. I think it's like a ton of money. And they're like, do I want to get out yet? And I'm with Randall. I mean, this is just the beginning of the beginning,
Dude, plus Coinbase is taking Bitcoin from Coinbase Pro to Coinbase custody to sell it to these people like MicroStrategies and One River Group and the other one. They took all the Bitcoin from Coinbase Pro where traders and people like us have access to it, and they're selling it to the institution. So there's going to be a time when there's no more available for us.
Well, they got rid of their margin trading over there, and I bet that might have something to do with why.
What do you think, Bill?
I think if Bitcoin takes out 26K, that it's going to go to 40, right? Or 46K. I had to do this for CoinDesk where, I tracked using what's something called Fibonacci extension. Basically, it just tries to track what a parabolic move, market move does when it takes out all-time highs. I was kind of more in the camp of like a 24 to 26 range. But if they take out 26 and if our esteemed guests are correct and it's just a stampede.
What would stop it at 26 aside from the fib extension?
Well, that's it. That's it. Just chart. Yeah. There's nothing but chart points. But if
mythical lines, I love it.
The mythical lines, right? But the mythical lines don't mean anything. Just like in 2017, right? When it took out the equivalent level in 2017, it just did a 1x. So the same thing can happen. The only twist I put on it is I just saw a graph where they would measure the market cap of like, I don't know, alts like 4 through 10 on the market cap chart. I think if Big Boy goes to 40K, that there are going to be a lot of other coins like, your Dashes, your Litecoins, your Bitcoin Cashes and whatnot. I mean,
now,
if that
happens, what happens to Bitcoin dominance? Do you expect the market to catch up in terms of alts, or do you expect alts to bleed?
I think the big alts are going to go along with Bitcoin, right? So, that includes, so I break it up this way, like the future of money, okay? As Bitboy said, they see the money printing now. So future of money is big alts, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, XRP, Dash, etc., right? ETH. And then I think the small alts, you're just going to buy them on dips and we're going to have what are called DeFi days. You have snow days. Okay. You're off from school. So we'll have DeFi days where we're off from Bitcoin. Okay. Regardless of whether it's a 26K price or a 46K price. And then on those DeFi days, then you're going to have, monstrous rallies in things like synthetics, Aave, Yearn, Uni, DeFi blue chips, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, I go through the PowerPoint, but the dollar's going lower and commodities are going up, and we've got the most valuable commodity of all, crypto.
Absolutely. Coach K, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm watching to see how it reacts when it gets to this 24, 25K level. I did short it just like yesterday when it kind of topped out.
You son of a.
Yeah, I know. I'm a trader, man. I look for those short-term moves too. I'm always going to be a long-term Bitcoin bull, but took a quick short, made some profit. Today I saw it again. I was like, nah, I'll just leave it, and I didn't short it again, but I should have again. I think we're going to have what we had before when we were trying to get a crack 20K, where it's going to reject it a few more times, and then we could break it out. But also I'm like with the looming, second wave COVID and not having all the vaccines and Christmas holidays and Chinese New Year, we kind of have to be prepared for, a dip, maybe not like a crazy one that maybe I was expecting to happen, but something to, kind of reset us, which would be very, very healthy for the market to go back to 20K. And then we could spring and go even higher. So I'm looking at both those things. But in terms of like this move, is Bitcoin done its bull run? Absolutely not. I think we're definitely going to go a lot higher. I just think that's going to happen in the new year.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to say one thing. I don't think that a lot of altcoins are going to follow Bitcoin and possibly Ethereum, because I've been listening to a lot of this like macro strategy stuff. Like I listened to this podcast with Pomp and Raoul Paul, and also Rich Dad Kiyosaki, and all these big macro traders are like balls deep in Bitcoin, but and some of them are invested a little bit in ETH, but they don't see alts as anything other than a trading opportunity. Like they're not seeing that as an investment. And because of the limited supply of Bitcoin and because of potentially the deflationary limited supply of Ethereum after 2.0, that will go up because of supply and demand. Whereas altcoins, there's like 8,000 altcoins now. I think 2 months ago there were 5,000. It's just like there's no limit to the supply of them. So I don't think that a lot of them are going to go up. Even some of the big ones, I'm not too bullish on.
Yeah, I would totally
I'm
disagree
bullish
with
on
that.
altcoins.
Yeah, I'm very bullish on altcoins.
All in.
Yeah, I think when you look back at what happened last time, I mean, I always like to say it's like a fondue fountain. You know, I mean, you got your fondue coming out the top, which is Bitcoin, and then it goes to the second level, which is Ethereum. Then it just goes down from there. And, you know, you're talking about some of these investors that are they're very like targeted and short-sighted on what they're seeing, I think. They're looking at the plus sides of all of the bigger coins, or of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two biggest coins. People are starting to look at Ethereum the same way people were looking at Bitcoin in 2017. You got a lot of people want to be kind of first movers, and you know they just announced, you know, CME just announced their futures contracts for Ethereum and things like that. But your retail investors, because you have to remember, the altcoin markets don't need as much as Bitcoin needs to move. So your retail investors are always going to be looking at the smaller coins. Like I don't know anyone who gets into crypto and knows about anything outside of Bitcoin is like, you know what, I want to put all my money in Bitcoin. They don't want to do that. They don't understand the tokenomics and the supplies. And
only 7% of Bitcoin is on exchanges. And that's the only part of Bitcoin that affects the price. So that's a $38 billion market cap.
That's fair.
It's not that much.
Fair enough.
Compared with a lot of altcoins out there.
Yeah. It still takes a lot to move the Bitcoin though. It takes a lot to move the Bitcoin. Okay. But I think the altcoins, I think that Bill was right on. I think he's dead on with the top coins. That's why, like, I've really shifted a lot of my strategies recently. I'm looking at, but my top coins, I'll probably do a video on this soon, but it's, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Chainlink, Polkadot, maybe Tezos, those are ones I'm looking at. And CRO is another one I think is going to have a little renaissance here. But outside of that, when you're looking at the smaller coins, when you're looking at your micro caps and things like that, I mean, it really is like just playing roulette right now. You're trying to find the ones that can really get up with the bigger coins, but I don't think we're going to see the true alt season where the smaller coins that are like under $1 million market cap really, really pump more than just one here, one there. I mean, probably until the middle of next year.
Yeah. I mean, also Willy Woo did this post where he looks at the top 2,600 altcoins out there, compares them to Bitcoin. About 10 of the top 2,600 are oscillators. The rest are degenerators. So basically 2,590 altcoins just lose their value compared with Bitcoin. 10 oscillate back and forth, Dogecoin, Stellar, some other ones, but pretty much
we're all looking for short-term games in altcoins. I mean, that's what we're all looking for, right? Yeah. I mean, people are always talking about stacking sats. I mean, I'm trying gaining Gways now. That's what I'm doing. I'm gaining Gways. I'm trying to get my Ethereum stacked up. Okay. I'm trying to get as much Ethereum as possible because I think it's going to outperform Bitcoin by 2 to 3 times over the next year. That's all I'm doing with all these other coins. What's that?
The network effect. It could be the top altcoins or the top coin soon.
Yeah.
It could outdo Bitcoin. Yeah.
It can. I think so. I mean, if it can just get, I bring this up a lot on my channel, which is Ethereum at its peak compared to Bitcoin was actually 15% of Bitcoin's price. One Ethereum was 15% of one Bitcoin. Around the peak of the bull run last year, it was around 10%. Right now it's at 2.8 to 2.9%. If it can just get back up to 7.5%, it would 3 times outperform Bitcoin in terms of your investment ROI.
Okay.
So,
but
I
agree. I mean, so I think Ethereum is the future, right? Because everyone's putting all the attention on Bitcoin. Yep. Bitcoin is the old man's trade, honestly, right? Institutions are getting into Bitcoin. And for the first time in history, retail investors and traders were able to front run institutions in Bitcoin. Yeah. Now they're on board Bitcoin, they're sleeping on Ethereum. I think Ethereum is the real money. And honestly, I'm not paying too much attention, too much focus into Bitcoin because ETH is the real move. ETH 2.0 is coming out, also pumping, DeFi is happening. This is where the money is. as an ETH,
We
in my opinion.
can't forget about DOT either. We can't forget about parachains, DOT. That ecosystem's going to explode. It already is exploding. I mean, if you invest in a new project that's DOT, you know it's going to go up just because it's on DOT. It seems like that's the new theme in crypto, especially if you're investing in like these newer projects that come out. They're doing some multi-X gains. So,
I love it. I would just say the awareness of DOT is nowhere near the awareness of Ethereum.
Oh,
it's got the money in it because it's got big investment money in it. But I think that's really where Ethereum shines is by the end of this bull run, I think Ethereum is going to be a household name like Bitcoin was from the last bull run.
Yeah. And I think the Ethereum CME features that are coming out in Feb, that's kind of the start of institutions getting into ETH.
Yep.
Yeah. Can I ask though, why Polkadot and why Cardano? Because it seems a lot to me like the last bull run, Neo and Omiza Go and all these other platforms. They're just like the newest platforms and I think Cardano is just a bunch of fanboys from 2017. But I mean, school me on it. I'm looking to learn. Like I know that Hoskins isn't doing stuff in Africa.
Well, I think the thing, the thing with that, I actually have an interview tomorrow with him on my channel. We're recording it tomorrow, so we get to ask him a lot of questions. But I was recently in a private meeting with Charles Hoskinson and another team, and I got to see a lot of stuff they were talking about back and forth. And I think really what Cardano is banking on is it's going to be easier to build on Cardano for people that don't know what they're doing compared to everything else. I mean, Plutus is going to be a smart contract language. It's going to be like extremely easy for people to do. They've got that Marlowe playground. Will it actually turn into
that's what everybody's doing though. That's what Lisk was doing. That's what Blockstack is doing. Everybody's making the easiest dApp platform, but it's really the one dApp platform that everyone's using is Ethereum.
But it's like Ethereum has such a big market share that like Cardano or DOT eating into like 10-15% of that is still a large amount, so I don't think it's there's nothing out there that's like, oh, we just have one of this, everything's competition. I think that's good for crypto. It's going to push it forward. But I mean, I kind of, I see what you're saying about comparing,
I'm just curious, like why Cardano? So just that their ease of use.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, guys,
ease
so
of use
let's
and the
segue to a
idea
new
of interoperability.
topic real quick. Okay, so
new topic.
Let's change topics real quick. So the question people are always asking is, what's the Moonshot, right? What's your favorite project, right? So we actually have a special announcement to make to your audiences as well. We're launching the Token Metrics Moonshot contest.
Ooh.
So let me actually pull up my screen here, and we're giving away money. So
and Token Metrics is 25% off right now. Right?
Yes.
Go to the
Well,
link below and smash
soon.
that up.
Coming soon, right? But anyway,
use my link. Everybody use my link. It's down below. It's tm.bitboy.live. Use that.
Can you guys view my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we're announcing this contest, and we're giving away $1,000 in a week and a free Token Metrics account to the person who can pick the best coin that's going to do the best ROI in the next 1 week.
Oh.
So this goes out to you guys, to anybody in the crypto sphere, and this is how you partake, right? So pick a top 100 market cap coin. Mention that coin, tag Token Metrics Inc. on Twitter, tag the project, and use the hashtag Token Metrics. And on the next live stream, we'll give away $1,000. That's USD.
All in.
Right? Plus a free Token Metrics account. So I think let's get the prediction started. What do you guys think? What project do you think will be best in the next 1 week?
I have to look that up.
Coach K?
No?
Are we gonna go with coins that are out or ones that are launching?
Coins inside the top 100 market cap.
I'm gonna throw one out there.
Inside the top 100.
I'm going synthetics. I'm going DeFi. I'm going top blue chip DeFi. The one that hasn't really seemed to get the same momentum yet that Aave has and Compound had and things like that. So I think synthetics. Also, Token Metrics had them a 99.9% a couple weeks ago. So just saying.
I also do own SNX as well. Good pick. Go ahead.
I am going to say Quant because it's the most down in the past 7 days. So that's a good chance.
Good strategy. Nice strategy. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Rose. I'm going with Rose for the next 7 days.
That's Ocean. I mean, not Ocean, but Oh, something. The blockchain project, right?
Sponsored
Was
by
that
Bang now.
Yes. Look at it. Look.
They said I wasn't bangable.
Are you? Yeah. It's good.
all? Wait, how'd they pick the name Rose? That makes no sense.
I have
But
no
think
idea.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay.
Because their shit don't stink. Their shitcoin don't stink.
Because
It's
everything's
Oasis
coming up
Network.
flowers.
They're based out of the US. They have tons of partnerships, and I just think that they're starting to move, but they haven't really had that big move yet. And I think Rose is going to be the one that's going to just crack it and start moving really, really quickly. So that's my guess. It's my
How about you,
prediction.
Bill? What's your prediction?
All right. Well, my number one was synthetics, but that's taken. So I'll go Dash.
Ooh, I like Dash too. That's a good
Dash.
one.
I mean, if you look at the chart and you look where that came from, I mean, that was a $600 coin or $400 coin at one point.
Wait, it was more than that, wasn't it? It was a lot more than that.
It was a lot more than
$1,500
that.
at one time.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are using that as money. I mean,
Yeah.
right. So
I like Dash. I had
do
Amanda
it.
B. Johnson on my channel. She's great.
She's still
Yeah.
making
Also,
videos?
can I just throw it like a side thing here? This is one that I don't know much about, but I really want to learn about. And 3 Commas just sent me an email about them, and I just noticed them on the top 100. A sneaky one, Avalanche. You guys check that.
Oh yeah,
Brand new.
ABA Labs.
Yeah, brand new. Check that one out. Avalanche.
All
Avalanche.
right, so I'll actually pick one. I'm going for Blockstack.
I love Blockstack.
So I know they're launching their new blockchain 2.0.
Mhm.
Plus, we also have an interview coming up with the CEO tomorrow. So everybody on our channel, check it out with Manip Ali. So I think they're going on a big marketing sprint in the next week or two, maybe even the whole month. So I think that should do pretty well.
What about top altcoin for the bull run? I have one.
Go ahead.
I'll start. Okay, so I was just looking into Stellar, and I'm not real big on XRP, but Stellar, I saw they're trying to become like the main blockchain for these central bank digital currencies. And it seems like every central bank is trying to come up with their own digital currency. Stellar wants to be the altcoin positioned for that. And so I think potentially, because we could be heading towards this central bank digital currency thing, Stellar could potentially be one of the top performing altcoins.
right. Tezos is rumored to be like the test net for the digital euro.
Yeah.
And I agree that somewhere somebody's going to pick one of these underused blockchains, maybe EOS. You know, these guys who did the build it and they will come.
Yo, how cool would it be if they chose Dogecoin?
TikTok would love it. I know that. TikTok loves Dogecoin.
It makes a lot of really good gains.
It does. I had somebody made a comment on his TikTok video I did about Dogecoin. They're like, what kind of idiot would put money into a coin about a dog? And I was like, well, I mean, the people that put money into it made a lot of money, you know? I mean, welcome to crypto.
Welcome to crypto.
Yeah. It's amazing. I tell you guys, it's like amazing to me the secret knowledge that you have if you watch crypto YouTube. Like the general public, 99.9% of people, they don't know anything about what we know. And it's just so amazing when you talk to people and you see these comments that people make on, social media that, aren't into crypto. And it's like I explain this to people all the time about like the Bitcoin cycles and like why we know we're at the beginning, not at the end. It's like your average person just has no clue about any of this. It's so fun. Makes me feel like a wise man.
So lots
It
of
would have
people in
been
the
nice
comments.
to know all this stuff in 2017.
It would have been. It would have been. But we were too busy watching people like you, and you were screwing us over, Randall.
You look at top Google
XRP,
searches for 2020,
EOS.
Bitcoin and crypto doesn't show up once.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Retail's not in yet. It's
not
really
at all.
just institutions. These guys. I mean, I've had a few. They're starting to come in. I've had a few, but in general, they're not really in yet. They're coming in slowly. They're slowly filtering in.
The retail people that are coming in are the ones who are coming. They're coming for what I said earlier. They're starting to realize, like, wait, they're talking about $7 trillion in stimulus for 2021. That doesn't. Yeah, that's the number they're floating around.
They
for the whole
already
year.
printed 25% of the money supply ever.
Yes, if they do 7 trillion,
This
it will
year.
be like almost 50%.
So this year and next year, 50% of all the money ever.
So
I don't
smart
think the
people
average-
are seeing
yeah.
that.
I don't think the average person understands that, like, your money you have in the bank right now, if you print 25% more supply of money, it is now worth pretty much 25% less. So now you have to go to buy the store. You have to go to the store, buy milk or eggs. That's going to end up being 25% more. And
yeah, you got to see these commodity prices, like the commodity charts.
Absolutely.
Oil,
Everything.
gold, beans, CRB index. I mean, commodity up, dollar lower. I mean, it's like right out of your freshman economics textbooks, and people aren't going to get it. By the time people figure out that they need to hedge via PayPal, Litecoin's going to be at 300.
Yeah. Which is why you should start buying Pokemon
hedge on a chart too. Pokemon like the DXY keeps going down, Bitcoin keeps going up. And people are asking me, why does that happen? And I'm like, well, if you're printing more money and Bitcoin can't be printed, why do you think that's a divergence that's starting to happen? And then they're like, well, the stock market's going up. I'm like, yeah, because people get value from the stock market from their dollars because they're putting it into something that's worth something, and they're just like, it's like people are starting to clue into that. But they have to be educated. If you just tell them like, oh yeah, this is how it is, they're like, okay. And then they just go about their day. So like I had this long conversation with my mom this weekend. I was like, Mom, just buy a little bit. I told you at $3,500 to buy just one Bitcoin and you'd be up this much. And she was like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, like you didn't listen now. Like now maybe you want to wait for it to retrace, but it might not happen. So put $100 in, $500 in, just start somewhere, because once you see that go up, then you're good. Go love.
Question. So do you guys think there's going to be a stock market crash? And do you think there will be a correlation with Bitcoin and crashing if the stock market crashes?
I don't see a crash coming. I mean, because they're pumping it up.
Not 2021, 2022.
So
yeah. They're printing more money. So where's the money going? It's going into the stock market and it's going into crypto market. And until they stop printing more money, the money is going to keep going into the markets. And who's getting all this money? That's the question you should really be asking. Like,
I mean, the Treasury Secretary is Janet Yellen, right? So
wait, we have a new name for her. It's Janet, no telling Yellen, because there's no telling how much that printer is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, when Janet was running the Fed, they couldn't tolerate a 5% decline in equities. It went down 5%, and they turned it on. Right? Yeah. They're going to do 7 trillion. They're going to do universal basic income.
Yep.
That's it, and that's why the central banks are going to need digital currencies. So
send it out quick.
Well, send it out quick and then earmark it for certain purchases, not Tesla stock on margin. So it'll be an expanded version. The digital currencies issued by the central banks will be like expanded versions of food stamps. You'll be able to buy food, clothes, necessity, Uber, transportation. Just, you won't be able to open up a margin account on Robinhood.
Yeah. So here's something interesting
in the US. You think that's why the US and UK have kind of got rid of the derivatives markets for Bitcoin, at least? Is that maybe potentially why, like for people watching, do you guys think, leave a comment. Do you think that's why there's no derivatives markets, so that you have to actually buy it with your own money and you're not losing, 5 times as much because you think adding leverage doesn't increase your risk because you're adding more risk because you're adding leverage? I don't know. I'm curious to have your guys' thoughts on that. Because they are taking away derivatives and leveraged accounts and margin accounts.
The powers that be, if they want you to be levered, they want you to be levered propping up equities.
Yeah. Well, right? I mean,
if everybody got levered in crypto, the prices would be so high they'd be probably more embarrassed than they already are.
Yeah, I think it's really simple. It's a lot simpler than all that, which is that they see how much money is going out to these exchanges that are overseas, and they don't want that. They want to control it. But I think that one of the things that people don't see about this, that I think the lower income people in the United States are probably going to start realizing soon, which is with us, raising minimum wage in a lot of places, soon across the United States, we all see what's coming, $15 an hour. Well, when you're making $15 an hour to flip burgers, what's going to happen there is you're going to be making a livable wage. That's great. But the inflation is causing the value of that money to go down. So what's actually happening is you're going to be raising out of being able to be in government programs. You're going to be raising to higher tax brackets, and you're not going to be able to afford anything extra. You're going to still be in the exact same situation. And I think, the government is going to keep that Ponzi scheme going as long as they can possibly have it going. I think what we're looking at when we look long-term at the economy, it's not going to crash in 2021. 2021 is going to be a great year for the stock market. It's going to be a great year for Bitcoin. It's going to be a great year for everything. it's not going to be a great year for the US dollar. I mean, obviously the inflation is going to cause, we could lose the reserve currency by the end of next year. But as far as our actual economy goes, like as long as they just keep, like it literally is a Ponzi scheme. Like it literally is, like they're printing more money to borrow, to pay to people. This money is not going to come back in taxes. This money isn't going to get replaced. It's just simple supply and demand. And nobody's going to have to pay rent in 2021. Nobody's going to have to pay rent. Nobody's going to get evicted. If you're like, just a small, a person who rents out a house here, rents out a house there, like you're going to be in bad shape because you won't be able to evict people. But once all of this vaccine gets dispersed, once everything starts returning back to normal, even Bill Gates himself, said that by early 2022, we will be looking at getting back to normal. Well, when we get back to normal and everybody is able to get back working and people are going to have to start paying rent and we're going to start reaping all of the consequences, they're going to come from the last year and next year is going to be extremely ugly. We just got to cross our fingers it doesn't turn into the, Walking Dead apocalypse minus zombies around here, because that's about what it's going to be.
We love zombies though.
Well, if we're going to go Walking Dead, we might as well bring the zombies on. So, I mean, I'm down with it.
Let's tokenize them as NFTs.
You did see that McConnell did approve the $900 billion stimulus just today for coronavirus.
Yeah, but that's not doing anything though. That's the thing though. That $900 billion is not, that's not doing anything, because, and that's why this is just the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Because people hear like stimulus, they're like, oh yeah, stimulus. Where's my check? Where's my check at? It's Friday. Pass me my check. But that $900 billion is all going to corporations and payroll protection programs. That's not even any airdrop money. So people hear that, they get excited. They're like, I can get this check and put it in Bitcoin or do what I did and buy an iMac Pro. That's what people hear, but that's not what's even coming yet. So I don't know why everybody's so excited about that. That all this paycheck protection program is going to do is just allow people to be out of work for longer. So if you're not working and you're getting paid, then
right.
Like
and of course, it's not going to cover. It's not going to cover anything because Joe's going to probably shut it down for 4 months. General public won't have the vaccine. They got to do frontline healthcare workers and all of the first responders.
Yeah. And over 74, that's the number they're saying. If you're over 74,
right? So Joe Public. This is, of course, assumes the vaccine doesn't start the zombie apocalypse like in I Am Legend. Assuming the vaccine works, general public's not going to get it for 4 months.
Yeah.
So if he wants to stop it from spreading, he may have to shut the whole thing down. I drove by a Sam's parking lot the other day. I think people get it. People may be ready for 4 to 6 weeks, but they're not ready for 4 to 6 months. Can you imagine? Right. That's why I think all these alternative monies that are available in PayPal are just going to smoke.
Yeah.
Aren't they already though?
All right.
They're already buying more than, yeah.
Hold on. So let's change topics real quick. Let's talk about Elon Musk. He's been very popular in the news.
He's had some interesting posts recently.
Yes, he has. That is quite the understatement. Let me just get this over here. Okay, someone was asking when the contest ends. Contest is ending on the next live stream. So by the 20th, basically, let's say by the 26th, right? So once again, $1,000 we're giving away to the person who picks the coin that will go up the most between now and the next live stream. Okay, so for all the kids watching, cover your eyes.
I'm trying to cover the screen with my hand, but it's not working.
All right, so Elon Musk, second richest person in the world, billionaire, posted this on Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
Me trying to live a more productive life, and Bitcoin is temptation.
500%.
Then Michael Saylor said, if you want to do your shareholders a $100 billion favor, convert the Tesla balance sheet from USD to Bitcoin. Then Elon Musk says, are such large transactions possible? Then he's trying to slide into the DMs of Elon.
Yeah.
I mean, so what would you guys think would happen? I guess it kind of speaks for itself. If Elon Musk put Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet.
Well, the number one thing would be, Elon, if you're listening, if you can sign up for under my OTC link to buy Bitcoin, it's cb.bitcoin or .bitboy.live. CB. That's Caleb and Brown. Thank you, Elon. I will be very rich. Thank you.
I think Elon, if he's going to get the amount of Bitcoin that he wants, he's going to have to buy Saylor's company. When this whole thing with Saylor started, somebody said, it'll be easier to buy a company that holds a bunch of Bitcoin than it will be to actually buy the Bitcoin. So I think, you know, Musk is upset because Saylor has turned himself into like the Steve Jobs on Twitter, except instead of talking at the iPhone release, you know, twice a year, you know, Saylor's just took over the whole narrative. Like no one's listening to Elon because they're all listening to Saylor.
He's organizing a Bitcoin pump and dump. Does nobody see this?
I mean, so for perspective, Tesla is $660 billion market cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is
500.
And he's going to need
440.
something to justify that market cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
so
I think
Bill, I mean, like when a company puts money in the treasury, is it typically like what, 5-10%? How much, do you know how much MicroStrategy?
I don't think there's a set percentage that they hold in cash. Okay. What matters is how many different currencies they hold, right? In other words, they'll hold, you know, they may hold whatever currency gives them the highest yield on a deposit. This segues back into our first conversation that, you know, Bitcoin is becoming so big. It's not just a currency. It's now collateral.
Yeah,
And
and
when
all
that
these companies now are talking about their Bitcoin strategy.
Yep.
And like I said, each company is buying up 1,000th of the Bitcoin, the total Bitcoin. And there's 630,000 publicly traded companies in the world. Like, do you realize how what fraction of actual companies can do this? And then there goes all the Bitcoin.
Right.
Well, they say,
and then
they
the game
have-
becomes, you know, okay, I've got Bitcoin on my balance sheet. Now what kind of return can I get on it?
Yeah.
And I think the case for altcoins is that once this Bitcoin starts to enter the DeFi system, because folks, you can't put it in the bank, you know, you can't deposit it at the Fed.
Yes, you
Right.
can. You can put it in Celsius wallet. That's better than a bank. Gets you 6% on your Bitcoin. Return in Bitcoin.
Well, it'll make its way into the DeFi system. And, you know, you'll have Ethereum as the main DeFi highway, and you'll have other DeFi highways, whether it's Cardano or Polkadot or whichever, but you're probably going to need more than one highway. You know, and then, like I said, that's the case for ETH. When all this Bitcoin goes from being currency to collateral at the institutional level, you know, the DeFi system is just going to explode.
And what does that look like?
Well, I mean,
Thanks, Bitboy.
I mean, there's an underappreciated. This is just one example. There's an underappreciated currency coin, Ren, right? It's like a toll system between, like, say, Ethereum and Polkadot, right? So whatever coins benefit from transit back and forth. I mean, obviously, Aave for all the lending and speculation. You know, Yearn, the big blue chips, right? And then there's like Uni and Don't Laugh Sushi, right? People are going to want to stake with reputable groups. Now, I realize that saying sushi is a reputable group or Uni is a reputable group, but, you know, nobody thought that, you know, Bitcoin was, you know, going to be royalty. I mean, the Bitcoin maximalists are going to have to drop the flip-flops and go to Brooks Brothers for the corporate holiday parties. So if you fast forward it a year, you know, DeFi, Ethereum, as Bitboy said, is household word.
Yeah.
I mean, with negative rates, I mean, do you realize right now there's so much money being printed that Greece, which was insolvent 10 years ago and almost took the world down, you now have to pay Greece to hold your money. Greek debt is negative yield. Last I checked.
Yeah, there's trillions of dollars of negative interest assets out there.
So if you can go into the DeFi system and get, you know,
Dude, on Celsius, you can get 22% on some of the altcoins there.
Yeah.
Like,
they're coming. I'm calling it crypto happy. I mean, Novogratz I saw online just got a tattoo of the moon on his sleeve.
Carl?
I saw that too on his IG. He posted he was going to a tattoo parlor. So he
That's
actually
right.
had a tattoo today.
I saw it. I saw it in a hedge fund chat room. Novogratz with a blue mask with his moon tattoo on his arm. So either he put out the tattoo and sold everything, which I doubt, or, you know,
But
he's
that's not really that big of a
he's gonna buy gold and DeFi.
Wait, so
Does he
it's a
have his
moon
private
tattoo?
key
All right.
installed in the tattoo? That's the question. Someone may want to
pretty
pick
dumb.
that up.
Maybe
Just
if
cut
he
his
had
arm
like
off.
a XRP tattoo or something, then that would be something in
Yeah.
crypto.
I'd like to go back real quick to the conversation we were having a second ago about Bitcoin and the treasuries. Saw a stat that said 50% of all major corporations will have Bitcoin in their treasuries by the end of 2021. So
Yeah.
So throw that out because you know
50%?
Randall was what's that?
50%, 50%.
Yeah, 50%. Yeah,
That's a lot. Wow.
yeah. So I think that now I don't know if that's a predictive stat or if it's based on the current buying right now, but you know everybody's looking for this strategy to add Bitcoin to their treasury, and you know Bitcoin doesn't really do anything. You know that's why I think a lot of these altcoins have big advantage. They actually do things. You know, like Ethereum, other than just collect digital dust and make you money. And so I think when we're looking at all these altcoins like Ethereum, we're talking about building the decentralized internet of value, as they say. A woman from CoinDesk coined that, no pun intended, actually pun intended. And I think that, you know, when you look at all of these, I think really one of the interesting things about a lot of these newer altcoins that we're seeing, we're talking about, you know, being able to stake them on Celsius. We're talking about steak and sushi, and we're not talking hibachi here. Okay. When we're talking about staking, a lot of these projects, it's like their entire purpose is to stake and make money. And I don't think that's a long-term good proposition. Like
It's a house of cards.
yeah, it's a house of cards, you know, but when you look at like what Ethereum, Chainlink, you know, all these projects are doing, you know, I think it's very important right now for people to understand that this is not the time to be throwing all of your money into super small altcoins, unless if you have $25 that you can spare to put into crypto, then you're probably going to want to take that $25 and put it basically on a roulette wheel, you know, and just throw it in something. But if you have any investment dollars set aside, you gotta be looking at the bigger projects. And I think a lot of people, they look at these coins like on Celsius or on any platform where you can make such high returns on them. And they don't factor in, and this is something across the board with staking. You have to factor in how well you think the coin itself is going to do. Because if I have Ethereum and I get 8% on Ethereum and it, you know, 3X's over the next 3 months, or I get, you know, 22% on an altcoin that just stays flatlined over the next 3 months, I'm going to make more money with Ethereum. So I just think it's really important that people are really looking at what they're putting their money into. And, you know, this isn't a casino. We're talking about big numbers, big staking numbers, but you got to really do your research and know what you're putting your money into. So.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ben.
That's a good point.
Okay, so lots of people in the comments are asking for our thoughts on XRP. What do you guys think XRP is going?
I think it's dead since DeFi came around. Who cares about all links with banks anymore when you can put your money in DeFi projects and get 1,000,000 times better returns than banks?
Yeah. I think XRP with the whole Flare thing, I think Flare might do well because it's trying to copy what Ethereum is 2.0 is doing. So it has a chance, but not the adoption. But I mean, XRP itself, I mean, they're even going back on their words. Oh, we might burn the supply. Well, now you're a security like we all thought you were. I don't know. Their team has sold off a ton of their own personal tokens, so it kind of makes you feel like maybe they
But I mean,
really
to kind of play
believers.
devil's advocate. So
Yeah.
Coinbase filed for the first essentially crypto IPO, and Ripple is next.
Yeah.
Right, because
Ripple's fine. Ripple's a good
has talked
company. It's a
about
company
doing
that
a-
makes money.
Right. So
Something
I
that makes
think
money. Yes.
if Ripple were
Yeah.
to do an IPO, people could possibly buy XRP just based on that marketing of Ripple doing an IPO, and I think that could be a huge wave.
People are going to buy, someone's going to buy
Mhm.
Ripple Inc. The reason that they want to IPO is because, like, you know, for example, if you wanted Michael Saylor's Bitcoin, you'd have to take over MicroStrategy. Well, if somebody wants to get into the cryptocurrency game, right? Well, they could build their own blockchain, or they could just buy Ripple Inc. that controls a large part of the supply in XRP. Now, I realize, you know, people have strong views on both sides, but here's a fact, folks. XRP is money. And what Ripple Inc. has with XRP is almost like what Michael Saylor is going to wind up having with Bitcoin. So the whole narrative about that coin could change. And if it holds 50 cents,
Good point.
you know, somebody's got to prove that they want it, right?
Yeah.
But if they prove that they want it, again, what is US retail? I mean, if they have a story, right? and then US retail comes in. Oh man.
I would say this is a very interesting conversation I have on my channel a lot with people, which is, especially regarding the regulation that just came out, that they pushed through about, self-hosted, self-custodian wallets. Okay. There's a nonstop conversation in crypto with two tracks. Number one, what's good for my wallet? And number two, what's good for decentralization and good for cryptocurrency and good for money and good for the economy? And they're two totally different conversations. So like XRP, Randall, what's it going to do? Like, what's the purpose of it really? It's the banker coin, but then at the same time, it's doing a lot of the same stuff Stellar is. So if Stellar is going to do well, I mean, XRP could do well. That's one conversation. The other conversation though, is what's it actually going to do money wise? And it's going to do really well. We saw what happened with the recent pump where it went up 60% in a day. And then, it might have been 120%. It was crazy. It went from 25 cents up to 70 cents and back down, whatever it was. And then we saw right after that, Stellar did the exact same thing. Jed McCaleb doesn't like to be shown up. That guy, he's going to make sure he pumps that Stellar just to be.
He owns 9% of all the XRP.
Yeah. Well, but he can only sell it off every month, and it's not a hugely significant amount that dumps price. This is one of the things that people have to understand about Ripple. Okay. These are smart people. Sometimes I feel like, and trust me, I think a lot of us have learned this lesson. If you're at the top in crypto, the world is not kind to you. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitter, whether you're a CEO, whether you're a founder, whether you're a company, when you're on top in this business, you get a lot of hate and you get a lot of unfounded, untrue stuff said about you. And we've seen that all across the board. Don't lose the fact that Brad Garlinghouse is a genius. Okay. Don't lose sight of that. He's built this company from nothing. He is a smart guy. Same thing can be said about Vitalik. Same thing can be said about Charles Hoskinson. These are some of the smartest people in the world that have been able to build this industry, right? During the bear market, they had to sell XRP and dump it nonstop in order to keep their business profitable and to keep paying people and not lay people off. That's what they were doing. But they know this bull run is coming. They've been doing their best to sell the coins over the bear market to stay above water. But now that it's time for this bull run to take off and the altcoins to do well, they're not going to do that. They're going to let the value go up. And XRP is the number, if you don't count Tether, it's the number 3 cryptocurrency out there. It's not changing anytime soon. And they're going to make sure all of these people understand tokenomics. They understand how to make these projects run. And so if you're an XRP, you're going to make money. It's not like Ethereum is going to 10x and XRP is going to go down 50%. It's going to go up and people are going to be looking for that easy, people look at the top, they see Bitcoin, they say, and you guys understand this doesn't make any sense.
Expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, what I'm about to say. We understand the psychology of new investors coming in. They see Bitcoin, it's at $24,000. They say, I already missed that one. Some people are looking at Ethereum and say, it's already $700. I already missed that one.
And then they buy Tether.
For XRP, it's 50 cents. Let me go buy it. Let's do it. Let's make all this money. And that's the way people think. That's not going to change. The psychology of new investors is going to stay the same. So I think XRP is going to, will it be one of the top 10 performing coins in 2021? I don't think so. I don't think it would be one of the top 10 performing coins. Will it be one of the top 20 to 30 performing coins, outside of micro caps that 10x overnight? Yeah, I think it will. I mean, so I don't think it's basically, here's what I'm trying to say. If you've been in XRP for a long time and you're thinking you're going to get your money back or you're going to make money, you are. I wouldn't get out of it right now. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sounds good. Anybody else with thoughts on XRP, Ripple?
No, I'm good. I think that was well said, Ben. It's a project a lot of people hate. At the same time, it will probably do really well. It's just me personally, I think that I'll take the trades and there's people that are in XRP army. I give them trouble because they always say Bitcoin's a dinosaur. They try to compare it to WeChat to not WeChat to on MySpace to Facebook and stuff. And I'm always like, well, you're talking about money versus tech, which is not really the same thing. But I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere at all. I think XRP can do well.
What happens if they call it a security though?
They won't. They won't.
It
They're not
probably
going to.
won't because they've been working with regulators the whole time.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though
they've
it
got
probably
relationships.
is.
They got relationships with banks.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the securities argument, I mean, I think like from what we've seen in the past, when these things may or may not be called security, I mean, they're really talking about the token sales itself, but once it's on the open market, they're probably not going to call it a security. I think they're going to consider a lot of these projects that have token sales. The token sale was a security because you were told if you get in on this round and you buy this coin, then you're going to get a return. But, for a lot of these ones that actually have utility once they're on the open market, I mean, that's Pandora's box, can't get put back in. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff is going to be clamped down in the future. But, a lot of that stuff that was done in the past, if you don't go right back at the SEC like we saw Ken do, I think you're probably going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Innovation. It's good.
All right. How are we doing on time? Everyone's good? Anybody have to
Yeah, I'm fine.
leave soon?
We're good.
No.
All right.
All good.
Do you guys have any questions from your audience you guys want to ask? Maybe in the comments?
luck.
I had one good one from TraderXO. He asked about he wanted to ask about the dropping dollar due to QE and low rates, but the euro and the ECB won't be pleased with a higher euro dollar when they're trying to stimulate the euro economy and need a lower euro. So what's our take on that? That's what he was asking. Pretty in-depth question, but a good one.
Sorry, could you rephrase that?
I'll repeat that again. So he says that we talk about the dollar dropping due to quantitative easing and low rates, but the euro and the ECB, they're not really going to be pleased with that because of higher euro dollar. So when they're trying to stimulate the euro economy, they need an actual lower euro. So he wanted to know like what our take was on that. I don't know if it was a well asked question in that way, but
Yeah, what's going on with
kinda-
quantitative easing on the euro? I don't know. Like, I don't follow the European market
Me
closely
either.
because I eat freedom fries.
So here's an idea. So in crypto, we all sort of operate with the underlying, thing under our skin that the governments are going to wake up one day and hate crypto and ban it. I got a different idea. With this whole idea about race to the bottom, if you have to devalue the dollar, okay, yeah, maybe you could do it against, sterling or yen a little. But the major devaluation of the dollar that they're going to want is versus crypto and versus commodities, right? They're going to want commodities and crypto up, dollar down, all fiat down.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's the government would actually prefer the dollar devaluation be done in crypto.
Well, they're talking about a new Bretton Woods, and basically you're better off having commodities at this time because they may form some type of union together where all countries devalue their fiat at the same time.
Crazy.
And unless you have some commodities, you're kind of screwed.
Right. I mean, it's already happening. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Oh God, this is
Okay.
the scary. This is the scary stuff. This is what I don't like talking about. Well, I like doing videos on it, but I don't.
All right. Well, it's simple. Like Brent,
Crazy.
This is oil, Brent breaking out, right? Green candle. Okay. CRB index. This is grains and metals breaking out, right? Look at the give up trade in March in commodities.
Wow.
Okay. Give up and then the other way. Soybeans. This is food in Asia. Okay. This looks like an
Looks like a
altcoin.
crypto chart.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys
Here's
remember
copper? Here's look, copper. It's like
Yeah.
the dollar devaluation is happening against physical assets, and I have
rhodium?
absolutely no idea why everyone's giving up on gold. Every day
I
see
think
rhodium.
gold's a great
I
investment.
mean, I get it. I get it that Bitcoin
Yeah.
could go up a lot, right? I get it, but giving up on gold, I mean, gold could 10x next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
You saw
I will
rhodium
not
went up
fault
to
anyone.
13,000. Did you guys see that? Like rhodium
No.
went from like I think was like 1,000 to 13,000 in a week, like 13x in a week.
Sounds like our subscribers.
You don't see that ever in like metals, but it was pretty amazing to watch.
Right. So that's where they want the dollar devaluation. I mean, it is happening right now.
Do you guys remember when? Do you guys remember when oil was negative?
I know.
Yeah,
That was
That's what
crazy.
Palm said. Palm
That was
said
insane.
I saw people
Bitcoin,
fuck
oil
with
went to
this.
zero, but Bitcoin didn't.
It went to negative. It went to negative like
went negative.
$3 or something. It was insane. I
Right.
really like that.
You had to
What a
pay
time to be
somebody.
alive.
Could've
You
been
had to
your best
pay
short
somebody
ever.
$33 a barrel to take your oil.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm kind of curious if when all these countries devalue their fiats, if we see like Bulgaria become one of the new richest countries because they seized a whole bunch of Bitcoin back.
No, didn't they? I thought they sold it. I thought they sold it all to pay off their debts.
I'm not sure.
I think they did. That was the story. So they
Bulgarian always pays off its debts.
Exactly.
Well, they had
at one
fortunes
time
of Venezuela could turn around because the Venezuelan consumer that knows how to mine his own crypto.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of suddenly wealthy people in that country, believe it or not.
So it was like with Bulgaria, they got a bunch of money from organized crime, and I think they used it to pay off like 25% of their national debt or something like that. It's crazy. If they would have held it, they could have paid off 100%. But I think that the thing about, thinking of the governments, like what our government is going to do in the future is very interesting. I would give anything to know how much Bitcoin our government has set aside. We know they had a ton from Silk Road. They still have a lot of that. And I would be very curious to see because, I think that's one thing people aren't really thinking about, which is if we do lose the reserve currency, if our government in the United States had a bunch of Bitcoin, then, they might push to make that reserve currency possibly, if not the SDRs.
A Bitcoin standard instead of a gold standard. How cool would that be?
That would be cool. Well, see, that's the thing that I did a video on that because it's very interesting. A lot of people don't think about that. Like, I, for a long time, was like, Bitcoin will never be the reserve currency because I was taking it from the perspective of like governments aren't just going to be like, let's go with Bitcoin. But like, what if Bitcoin became the standard to base value on? Then it's not really like, it's not a one country owning the reserve currency. It's about
the only thing I thought about that was before they made the gold standard. They had like, I forget what law it was, where basically you had to give up your gold or else you went to prison.
Yeah. It was like right after the stock market crash, I think in 1929, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's very interesting stuff. And I've actually done a series on my channel called The Great Reset. We got part 5, the last one coming out on Wednesday, because that's the really scary stuff where they're talking about the World Economic Forum. There's a blog that they put out a few years ago that's just like terrifying. They're like, well, I used to think I wanted privacy, but now I've totally decided, like they're giving the perspective of like a girl living in the future. And she's like, I used to think I really value privacy, but now that I have absolutely none, I've decided I don't even like privacy. And it's just like such scary stuff coming from there. And where they're talking about the Great Reset and wanting like get rid of meritocracy. It's basically communism and socialism, which if that ever happens, America has to be the chess piece to fall for the rest of the world to go that way. So that's kind of what, I think some people are pushing for. It's like Bitcoin's our last holdout. But speaking of last holdouts, I want to ask a question came from my audience, which is, what are our thoughts on privacy coins?
Nobody's mentioned them in a long time. Remember the privacy coin run where there was like
they were pumping every month.
So I think privacy coins will always have a use case, but governments are trying to ban them. They're going after them hard. Exchanges are
I said in
them.
2017 I got a lot of flack in 2017 because I was probably the only person that was saying like, yeah, these guys are going to probably not do well long term, because the first thing that governments are going to go after is privacy coins, because you can do stuff they don't know about and you can hide it. And I mean, and you saw what happened with Monero and them basically paying a fee to, I think, what was it? Who was it that actually just?
Do you think they actually cracked it? Or
no, they have. Well, they're trying to put a patent together. I think it's CipherTrace. Trying to put a patent together to
those guys that actually helped. I think they helped you, Ian. And so like these guys do like really in-depth research, and they worked in the FBI and all this stuff, and they're trying to crack Monero.
Rich
with Rich and them, right? So the thing is, will they ever crack it? I don't know. Have they cracked it? Maybe. The thing is there's always going to be someone trying to crack them. They're going to always have to do work, but I still think people are going to use them. But then you have this new wallet thing where, if you use a private wallet, and they can track you. And I've been told about this from like 2 years ago. My friend ran one of the people that was in the exchange bx.in.th was the biggest exchange in Asia. And he literally like told me they were going to be doing this. They're going to track all your wallets. They're going to basically say your Bitcoin's no good because you got it from this source and you're not telling them where you're getting it from. So that's like the scarier part. Will it happen? I don't think so personally, but I don't know. Give me your take, guys. I think privacy coins have a use case, but maybe they're not going to be around forever.
Privacy coins have a use case because governments are going to use them.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting thought,
will.
Bill.
Right. In other words,
Wow.
when the Pentagon or any of
Ooh.
these other big players,
Like that.
you know, in other words, if we're going to go big brother in some way, you know, it's kind of a high level concept. But if we're going big brother, you know, transparency in
there.
government finances is going to disappear. Right. So privacy coins will be used by governments and central banks. Right. In other words,
When you say governments, do you mean like for, I guess, what's the word? Black ops?
Various
Or
actions.
nefarious?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
black ops, you know, if we're saying we're funding the military,
Espionage.
if the military budget is this, but the military budget may be a certain amount in dollars and a certain amount in, like, say, Bitcoin or Monero or whatever.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought I've never thought about. But this is what I would say about privacy coins is I used to be like dead set against them, like from an investment perspective, like, okay, well, like eventually the governments are going to crack down on these. They're going to make it where it's impossible to trade them. And, you know, they're not good investments long term. But the funny thing is, the more we've seen governments try to crack down on them, the higher their value has gone. And you just think about, well, that makes sense. How much do you think an AK-47 is going to be if the government bans assault rifles? You know, like, value's going to be up. It's going to be harder to get them. You're going to have to know how, but the value itself is going to be higher. I mean, when you look at a lot of these countries or a lot of these people, you know, that buying black market guns, I mean, you know, you're not buying them cheaper in a lot of cases. You know, I mean, you're buying them because they don't have a serial number on them. You know what I mean? Or their history has been washed. That's really what you're paying for. And so privacy coins, I would say that's something to consider, is that if you're invested in privacy coins big, I don't know if that's a super smart thing unless you are prepared for all of the, you know, things that come along with that, but their individual values, I mean, they might actually, you know, really go up based on clamping down from governments.
Right. And you'll also see the word in 2021, you'll hear the word bail in.
Ooh.
This happened in Cyprus, in Europe, where they actually just had to go to maintain government solvency. They had to go in everyone's bank account and just take 10%. Right. The day that a progressive or somebody starts that in a G7 country, you know, privacy coins or coins with privacy functions, you know, you'll be shocked how fast regular coins may attempt to add privacy functions to their existing.
You bring up a good point with that bail-in. I was wondering, since like there's no penalty on taking out of retirement accounts now, if I should just take all that out, because with the bail-in, don't they go after retirement accounts and stuff like that? Wouldn't it be smart?
No, they wouldn't do retirement accounts. Most of the time, a bail-in would be regular brokerage accounts and bank accounts, most likely.
Wait, Randall, there's no penalty for withdrawing from
until the end of this year. Yeah,
because of COVID.
Because of COVID, yeah.
Oh wow.
You still get taxed on it if you need to be taxed on it, but there's not the 10% penalty or whatever. Because I was considering doing that and just taking that out and putting it in Bitcoin or whatever.
All right.
What do you guys think about NFTs? A lot of the people on my channel are asking, what do you guys think about NFTs?
I think there's too much hype around NFTs. Everyone's talking about NFTs, but it's still too early, I think.
I think there's a lot of BS NFTs that are just like, they're there to be there. They don't have any value. There's no derived value from any of them. You're seeing people like basically they're auctioning art basically, and that's all it is. But I think NFTs can be a lot more. And yeah, I mean, you have all these new projects popping up every day. You know, you're buying an NFT. It's a collector's item basically for a lot of these projects.
What was the quote you had, Bill, last time about NFTs, about them being Pokemon cards?
Right. Well, I mean, I started off with NFTs saying, you know, don't go out and think your little brother's Pokemon cards are going to moon, right? But the fact is, they do. They are mooning.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen with art is art's going to become a store of value, because I don't think they tax it the way they tax securities.
Mm-hmm.
So art is going to become a store of value. So the quality of the NFT market will be a function of the qualities of the collectibles or the art.
Yeah. Somebody said NFT stands for no effing thanks. Good job. Like you guys may know, I'm probably one of the top NFT sellers out there for the year. I mean, I got on Rarible and we sold a lot of NFTs, 6 figures worth very easily.
Oh,
And
wow.
oh yeah, we sold, I mean, in one weekend we sold, I mean, it was a lot, over 6 figures in a weekend. And the thing is that, you know, Bitboy started out as a comic book or as a comic character. That's what Bitboy crypto is here. You know, Bitboy was a superhero. And so like, we really saw this NFT market as a way that we could kind of like build this, you know, build this arena. And so it's actually like came into a lot of cool stuff. We're actually launching a Bitboy deck builder card game with Wax at the end of March or beginning of April. So I think what we've really tried to do with the NFTs is we've tried to like not make them just like, oh, here's a cool animated GIF, you know, or like, hey, here's a piece of art. Like, I'm not an artist, you know what I mean? I've got some creative stuff, but I think what we're trying to, we have what we believe is the first NFT comic book that each page is an individual NFT. So we're working on a Bitboy comic book. And we're working on like expanding this universe and really using this as a way. We're actually working with Sand. We have a lot of land in the Sandbox game, and we're actually taking Bitboy's city where he lives. It's called Digital City, and we're building that city inside of Sandbox. We've hired professional Minecraft builders that we're paying to come in and build this city in the Sandbox world. So there's like a lot of really cool stuff that's coming with NFTs, but at the same time, I also agree with you. And here's why. When you say that it's a little overhyped right now, NFTs are kind of like almost anything else in crypto. Like it's going to come in waves and there's going to be a hype wave. So what I've seen from a lot of projects that I've talked to is they all want to integrate NFTs into their project, kind of like the same way everybody rushed to like integrate DeFi in. And that's not a smart move right now. Because if you're trying to integrate NFTs into your platform specifically for the purpose of taking advantage of the hype that's going on right now, you've missed that. The NFT hype is gone. Like it came and it went in about a 1 month period. And now a lot of people have a bunch of NFTs from a lot of random people that have no value, that they're just like, oh, what do I do with this? It's a random guy that made an account. I have no idea what this is and I own it. At least people that own our NFTs, like we're going to be doing airdrops. We got all kinds of stuff we're going to be doing with our NFTs. And I think if you can't have that long-term vision to say, if we're going to get into NFTs is not to take advantage of a hype. It's because we actually think that it's the future and we're willing to put in the work now for what might come 2.5 years down the road. I think that's really the perspective a lot of people have to have.
Right. It could be a huge shift because as he's saying, the artists or the people who can create the universes, the artists are actually going to be the ones that capture the value.
Yeah.
Huge amounts.
There's also
of value.
like the idea of using NFTs in games, like for the game that Anarchy X did, which I'm CMO, I'm not going to shill, but you know, we had the idea of like, what are NFTs used for? So we built NFTs as a part of farming. You know, if you have, you know, certain NFTs, you play in a game with other people, it's esports, it's fun, but it's all based off of APY and farming. And, you know, if you get certain, you know, your gacha packs like you play in the other game and you get certain high level gacha pack cards, then you can use those to actually access a higher APY for that 1 week, and then next week you get a new gacha pack and start all over again. And then with that, we had a collectible line that goes along with it. But then it's more than just like one time, one game. It's like we're going to have a whole gaming studio so people can create their own games, bring them to the platform, and then continue the, you know, giving them a derived base value, which I don't think a lot of people did. And if you just go on Raribles and buy cool art, it's like you own art. It's great. You can do music as well. You can do lots of stuff, which you can lock in that value. So it does have some value, but I think that like we'll see the true NFTs like with the Bondleys and you know, with Digicoil, and we're seeing that with what's it called, Economy, where they have all these big name producers like Paramount and Batman, and I think those will be really cool because there's always been a collector's item, you know, physical collector's item space. I think this will turn into a digital collector's item space, and I think that'll start maybe in the start of next year. We should have maybe like an NFT run. So that'll be a very interesting thing to come up and start seeing. So,
nice comic book you got here.
Thank you. Yeah, we're working
nice.
on it.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a store of value.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
it's a store.
A story of value.
Art is a store of value, right?
So, hold on. So all this was made using Rarible.
Well, they were minted on Rarible. We're actually looking at we think we're pausing the comic book for right now because we're working on our own NFT platform, or maybe branching out to some different ones for other parts of the comic book. So, and then if anybody gets all the pages of the comic book, we're going to send them a legit paper, a physical copy as well. So we're going to be putting that together. So yeah, it's a cool story. We like it. We think it's going to be good.
I think you changed my mind on NFTs. I mean, so you have 6 figures in trading volume in NFTs for the Bitboy NFTs.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I think I should look into this.
Well, think about like Tops.
I mean,
Tops is
money
coming out with
talks.
their own NFTs, right? You were a kid, you probably collected cards from your favorite sports athletes and stuff. And those were valuable because you can get rare
Pokemon
ones.
cards.
Pokemon cards are worth money too. Like, so are Magic cards, all that stuff. So it's just making a digital version of that. But there's so much more that can be done. It's just people haven't explored all the use cases just yet. But there's very large name. You go look at Connie and you look at who's behind them, all the different major licensing that
How's
they've
that spelled?
got. Which one?
Connie?
Connie. Yeah, Connie, the NFTs. They have like Paramount, Batman.
Connie. Okay, yeah.
Like the gaming company.
Yeah. So, like this is the stuff that I'm looking at going, well, these are going to potentially have some really valuable, assets on them potentially. You don't know, maybe they'll be worth nothing, but it's something definitely to explore. I think there'll be a wave of that. Like there was a wave of DeFi. And a lot of people are mixing those two together, where you got the DeFi and you got the NFTs, and they're kind of mixing them together. I think there'll be a lot of value once people get more creative with it and see how they can do it. It's all about just finding use cases that actually make any sense. Well, there's a lot of them that won't make sense, like Crypto Finally, no offense to her. She put on just some pictures of herself and people were buying them for 10 ETH. And I was like, all right, well, hell, man, like if you could do it,
people put pictures of her up there, other people put pictures of her up there and we're making money off of it. And I think that's why, that's why she got into it, which I don't blame her for,
No, I don't blame her at all. I think it's great. If I put a bunch of pictures of myself as a cartoon character and people are going to pay me 10 ETH for it, why wouldn't I do that? I mean, it seems kind of silly not to, right? Even though like it is kind of silly if I would do that, if someone was willing to pay me for it, I would do it. Why not? But I think,
I think the thing to look at here is there's like, if we just take a step back and we use some common sense here. Okay. Yeah. And we think about like all of a sudden there was this huge hype. There was this huge push, like for art, for digital art. Like there's a reason there's a stereotype of poor starving artists out there, like it's not like all of a sudden overnight, like art is going to become this thing that just anybody that wants to make $1 million can just start making digital art and make money. Like there's no value other than like art being aesthetically pleasing. Like and the rarity combined with that, like that's all that art, so to speak, is, right? And I think what you're talking about having functionality built in, whether it's farming or other DeFi purposes, or there's actually like a larger purpose, like the comic book we're doing, like you want to get all the pages, like there's got to be an incentive for people to keep buying them. And I think that, this is something that is going to be big, but it's not going to be big because like all of these people that went to art school and became like artists are just going to be popping up everywhere, making millions of dollars. Like that's not a common sense. And
it's also big because of what you've done with your channel. Like you could have created the same thing, and if you didn't have the platform,
absolutely,
channel,
absolutely,
nobody would buy it.
100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
People value, what he's done. If you provided value to other people, they'll value what you do a lot more, right? So, and I mean that's for what you do when you spend, your life making content for basically for free, or not only for free, but when you start out, that's what you're doing, right? So you're adding value to an ecosystem, and people value that.
Well, if people want to look for someone to blame for my channel's explosion and my head that has gotten so big that it barely fits on the screen here, you guys can blame Randall. It was his fault. He was the first person that did a video with me. So thanks, Randall.
Mm-hmm. Well,
everyone can blame all of this on you,
man. You're enthusiastic.
Well, thank you.
You were in it to win it. You weren't in it for the money, even though that kind of helped.
Yeah.
But you're in it because you were really enthusiastic about crypto.
Yeah.
And
And I was
speaking of
in
money,
for your bald head and your random story from Florida. that you
so
told me.
just a quick reminder, we're giving away $1,000 for those who just joined, $1,000 to the best pick. But you have to tag the project on Twitter. So tag Tokenmetrics Inc., tag the project, use the hashtag Tokenmetrics, and whoever picks a top 100 market cap project that has the best ROI by the next live stream, basically in 1 week, you'll win a free account and $1,000. All right. Anything you guys want to cover we haven't touched on yet?
What are your favorite altcoins that maybe aren't top level? Because this is what I get asked a lot. So I think it's something that people would value from all of us in here.
Right.
What do you like other than Bitcoin or majors that you think have a really, a really big opportunity to get into or to research that are coming out? Go ahead, Crypto Love. I see it.
That are coming out, like ones that don't exist yet.
Exist or
They're
that are almost
coming out.
that are coming.
They
Yeah,
want
it doesn't matter.
Well,
Just, this is what everyone asks me. Like all of us ask our own guys, like, what? Tell us about. We even say it. Tell us about some new projects that maybe we don't even know.
Okay,
So,
this one's
let's
already
talk about
out.
what we like.
This one's already out, but I think it is well underrated in that, in my mind, it should be a top 10 altcoin, is Celsius. They have a very strong community. They have a fixed supply. They have an amazing use case, giving you interest on your crypto. The founder of Celsius, Alex Mashinsky, he's a triple unicorn. He has $3 billion companies, same as Elon Musk. He's in the Elon Musk club. And he created voice over IP. He did one other thing in Celsius. And I think because of that, and their tokens used in the ecosystem. So you either get your interest in sell, or if you take out a loan, you have to pay the interest in sell. And so I think because of that, the fixed supply of the community, I think that one could definitely go up because their user base is just growing. Right now it's 200,000 people. It's growing and growing and growing. And that could be huge.
There's a segue here. So have you heard of Yield app?
Yield
Have you heard?
app?
Okay, it's called Yield app. These
It's a
guys are
DeFi
doing
app, right?
very similar things to Celsius, but they're running it like a DeFi fund. And so a lot of people don't know how to, get involved in farming or anything DeFi, or it's too
Buy a John
expensive
Deere.
for Ethereum. So they actually made a fund which does something exactly very similar models to Celsius, where you lock up. This is brand new. I just did a video on this today. You lock up your USDT and you lock up your yield, and you get paid out a guarantee of 10% plus 2% in yield. And if you hold yield, you get up to 20% per year. So it's even better than Celsius in some ways, because the people behind it are no small names. They got David Johnson. They've got Tim Frost. He was involved with Equibank, and he was also involved with Paxful, building them up, and WireX. So like they have some real names around the platform. And Justin, that they brought in as the other co-founder, he's from the traditional market. So these guys are really building something similar to Celsius. If you're looking at Celsius and going, wow, that's done 85x or something from the bottom, this is just out like this week. It came out.
Yeah.
It came out with TrustSwap, which a lot of us know, Jeff, right? They did it on TrustSwap, and I think there's some really, really good stuff that's going to come from that, and it's early stage. So like if you love Celsius, which I also love Celsius and Nexo, Yield app might be one that if you've never heard of it yet, it might be a good one to look at. It's a very similar model.
Yeah. I would say as far as Celsius goes, look, I love Alex. I like Celsius. I've been bullish on Celsius since the first time I ever heard him talk, which was July of 2018. The one thing I would say is for Celsius to be a coin that outperforms the market drastically, it's going to have to do something that few coins have ever done, which is already outperform the market drastically and then do it again. So that's the one thing I would say about Celsius. I like Celsius. I like a lot of stuff they do. For them to, outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, considering it's drastically outperformed it in 2020, that's going to truly make it a unicorn coin, but not a Uniswap. And I would say, like, I've got, several projects that I'm working with, some that I haven't even done videos on yet or talked with. I mean, projects I'm an advisor for. Obviously, YFDI, Ferrum Network that we talked about at the beginning, very bullish on Ferrum Network. They're working with a company called Plasma Pay, which is another one that I'm very bullish on. And then also Smart Key, I mean, a lot of people have been making comments about it in the channel. These are projects that are doing like real things. These are projects that are not like fly by night and things like that. So those are 4 that I'm looking at. But this is what I want to say. And this is not directed towards any coin that I'm working with, any coin I've worked with in the past. It's just, there have been a lot of coins that I've talked about on my channel that have 10x'd. And you know what happens after a project 10x's? It usually comes back to reality. I think when you guys are looking at altcoin strategies, you really do like almost no matter how much you believe in anything, like you have to make smart money decisions for yourself. So when it comes to these coins that may or may not explode, Zero Chain is another one that I'm looking at. You guys might want to be paying attention to. Don't come at me or come at anybody that you invest in a coin and it goes up 10x and then it goes back to its original value and you say, oh, well, you should have made a smarter decision. You should have like taken some profits along the way. I understand believing long-term in projects for sure. I mean, there's, like I believe long-term, pretty much like long-term, we're talking about years and years and years. I mean, it's a very small select group. Bitcoin, Ethereum, I don't know after that, like I don't know after that, what is the true long-term plays, Chainlink probably in that group. Okay.
You gotta add helium. People are sleeping on helium.
You love helium. Well, if you're sleeping on helium, you're probably dreaming with a high-pitched voice. Okay. But in all seriousness,
all in on helium.
Yeah. You guys got to make smart decisions for yourselves and don't ride a coin all the way up and then ride
stand-up NFT coming?
Well, oh no! Oh God! I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. Am I back? Can y'all hear me again?
Yes. Yeah. Crystal clear.
That was terrible. My stand-up act consists of me pulling my microphone out of my thing, and then one my graphic designer who works in house with me, he made the bad mistake of telling the guy that's my CEO, like in front of him, saying that I should do stand-up comedy. So now we do a lot of stand-up routines. So don't let that go to my head too. I'll dominate comedy YouTube. Okay.
Now, one coin I do like that our team looked into, that's low cap, which is in a way kind of our moonshot pick, is P Network, PNT. So they're doing cross-chain DeFi and very low cap. Code is good, super risky as hell. Not financial advice, but if we were to get in on a low cap gem, we think that has the potential to possibly do that. Bill, any picks on your end?
I have a lot of people asking me about, I want to call it KP3R. Is that correct?
Keeper?
Oh, Keeper?
Yeah.
Keeper?
Yeah, that's hacker speak.
It's what?
It's cringy.
Hacker speak.
Oh.
Keeper?
Yeah, it's got a really interesting chart, but I will defer on the token metrics firm pick to Ian.
Isn't Andre Cronje in that one? In that one of his?
Yes, yeah. That's
Anything he
Andre's
touches
project.
just goes up, right?
He's just making so many new projects. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
wait,
so
can we
pissed off I
pause for a
stopped
second? Ian, can we pause for a second? Can we talk
Yeah.
about something really important right now?
Absolutely.
I got an email from Token Metrics this week, and it had the top 3 crypto YouTubers of 2020 on it. It included Data Dash, Ivan, and some guy I've never heard of. And I just want you to know, like, from the bottom of my heart, I was seriously, like, really wounded and offended by this.
So I'll explain.
Yeah, thank you, because I need some explanations here, Ian.
So that was a community vote.
Oh, I hate Token Metrics community. I hate you.
And this was done in January this year.
Oh,
Right. So
okay. Well, then I understand because I only had 12,000
Yeah.
subscribers back then.
Yeah. So I mean, so props to you. You've blown the hell up.
It's thanks to Token Metrics. Listen, seriously, part of one reason why I got a lot of credibility this year was I was using those Token Metrics picks for my picks of the month, and they blew up all year. Like my people made so much money from those Token Metrics picks all throughout 2020. I mean, up until DeFi bubble kind of popped there for a little bit. I mean, we were like 7 months in a row of like at least 200% gains, having one triple-digit winner like every month. So yeah, okay. Well, I accept your apology. I didn't hear an apology, but I do accept it. I want you to know.
Well, I mean, then next year you'll definitely be on the list, and I'm pretty sure.
Thank you.
Because you're one of our biggest affiliates, crypto family members, YouTubers. So I'm pretty sure most of our community now is from you.
They might like the fact that I confront on air. Maybe they like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, guys. Well,
I
fun
don't know if
times.
like you guys are looking at some newer projects that are out, like Coin. They're doing some really cool stuff with their wallet. You'll be able to talk to your computer and say like, I'm gonna send Bitboy $5 of ETH, and it will literally ask you if you want to, and you'll say yes, and it will send you money. So that's a pretty cool wallet that's coming out. Also, if you go on
Cool.
Google, you type in on the browser like exchange, and it will ask you, do you want to exchange money? Like it's pretty intuitive stuff. So I was talking to Damon Nam, their CEO, the other day, and I was just like, wow, this is a pretty interesting project. If you love like Uniswap and DeFi, he's very big on it. And then they have their own exchange, something very interesting to look at. You got the Sci-Fi with their own kind of like DeFi fund, which is coming out with all your favorite DeFi picks, and they rebalance them and stuff. So I'm looking at these new projects as opportunities, because we talk about, okay, what's the thing that's going to make you the highest amount of gains? I mean, if any of you guys were in Bondly finance and any of you were in Bondly,
yeah.
I mean, 14, 15x, it's just like, these are the types of things that, yeah, you should definitely take profit and take your money out, but then you have free rolls. And I think a lot of people in crypto, that's what
Moonbags.
Don't make the mistake. I would say this is really good, like non-financial, just like overall advice is like, if you're going to go into a project and you're going to invest your money and it goes up a crazy amount and you got like 50% or 70% coming over the next few months to you, and you can, sell it so you have your money back, you should do that. It's not a bad idea. Even if you really believe in it, if you put in 5,000, you can take your 5,000 back out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And, as long as you're not market selling on the order books, take your profit out, because then it's free roll. I probably have like 14 or 15 projects right now where I'm in that position, and every month it's like a paycheck, and you're like, sweet, I can either hold it because I believe in the project, or I can, sell it. So you give yourself an opportunity like that, and then you can kind of like sit back and relax a little bit. And I think like as a trader, it's great. It's like a supplemental income almost. I mean, almost every day of the month I get an allocation. So these are opportunities that can be there. And obviously, the reason why I say take your capital out, because cash is king. And if the market turns against you, you don't want to end up with bags like you did in 2017.
I wouldn't say cash is king anymore.
Okay, Bitcoin's, you know what I mean? Bitcoin's king. I stack Bitcoin and ETH 90%. The cash that I use is so I can live and my kids can go to school. And all
that cash is king thing is very interesting because there's this idea that like if you go to buy something from Craigslist and you show up and you're like, oh yeah, but I got cash, that like people are going to give you a better deal or like whatever. Like that's really, in my opinion, like kind of archaic. Like that's not a real thing anymore. Like now,
if you live in Thailand,
I got Cash App. I got Venmo. I got whatever. Like everybody has money all the time that you can spend. It's not like, I only have this cash right here. I'm just talking about like that kind of old school, like negotiating, like Craigslist kind of mentality. We're moving to an all digital world, and everything's going to be done digitally. But I think that, I do think you're right on. I mean, you do have to take some money. Like don't get any of this twisted. Like by the time the crypto markets collapse, I think this is an interesting question we should probably get to. Which is, I'm a strong believer that September 28th, 2021 is the peak of the Bitcoin bull run. And that's my plan to cash out is probably before that.
I said October 2021.
October 2021 is end of altcoin markets because they usually go a month after. And September 28th, 2021, that's the day. I mean, that's 504 days from the halving, which is basically when it should happen. But what do you guys think? Like what I was gonna say is, don't get me wrong, like trust me, I'm cashing out at some point, and then I'm gonna short out of it all the way down. Like I wish I would have done the last bear market.
I don't think it's gonna
what
go
do you guys
down
think?
as far this time.
I don't think it is either. I think you're right.
We have a bunch of hodlers this time. Like the institutions are gigantic hodlers.
Yeah.
I agree.
They don't care if the price goes down, institutions either. So
I'm thinking it's sell in May and go away. In other words,
sell in May and go away.
All the equity market seasonals, like right now we're in the Santa rally, right? Never fade the Santa rally. Then there's the January effect, right? Whatever happens the first week in January has implications for the rest of the year, right? And then the next big one where you got to watch out for the corrections is sell in May and go away. And, the way corrections work in equities that scare people to death, I mean, not so much in crypto, right? But, it's probably 30, 40% in one day. and then it resets itself, and then it goes back up again.
Now,
Yeah, it
if we
wouldn't
go back
surprise
and
me.
look at the
Like
last
everybody wants to
halvings-
buy the dip in Bitcoin, and I'm like, no, you don't. If there's a dip, a real dip in Bitcoin, you won't want to buy it.
Right.
So if we go back and look
Well-
at all the last halvings, every bull run lasts longer, but the ROI is not as big. But I think this time around that could be different, where the ROI is massive and it lasts longer.
Yeah.
Well, the market's
Well,
also
for it to-
getting big.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
No, the market's also getting bigger. If you're, you know, I had this conversation with one of my friends from Duck, like one of the owners of DuckDAO today, because we've been buddies for years, and we was talking about, like, he's like, yeah, this is so crazy, and I was like, dude, you know what the crazy thing is? Microsoft is 3 times bigger a market cap than the whole entire crypto market, period.
Right.
And he was like,
Snapchat is
holy
worth
shit.
more than ETH.
Yes, Snapchat is worth more than, like,
I go on these
guys,
TV shows and I'm like,
so
Chainlink's
early.
$5 billion.
we're
Yeah,
just
but
so
you can't-
early. Like, people
The
don't
Fed
get it.
flosses his teeth with $5 billion.
Yeah. Like,
Sorry.
we're so early. All you guys watch these things and you think, oh my God, these guys are doing so well. Like, you have no idea what's about to
idea.
come.
No clue.
You have no idea. Even us, I saw Bitboy. I saw you say something like, I mean, we've been waiting for this for 2 years, and I can't, even when I'm seeing the market do this, I'm even like, wow.
Yeah.
We're all like, wow. And the thing is, it's just the start of this. For like the next 10 years, this is going to keep happening, but we're going to go through cycles. So just be prepared, and, you know, get ready to have a huge shift. If you're in crypto now, be ready to be one of the people that shift from, you know, the wealth, you know, going from all these huge rich guys to being able to be one of them, you know, and you're going to be rich, not with cash. You're going to be rich with Bitcoin, Ethereum, you know, with Polkadot, all these big projects. You're going to be very wealthy with those. And that's going to be what you're going to use in the future to buy your house and your car. I tell people this all the time. Bitcoin is not going to be used to buy a coffee. That's what XRP will be used for. Bitcoin is going to be when I want to buy a new house, here's a Bitcoin, here's 2 Bitcoin, whatever it is. Or I want to buy a Lamborghini, or I want to buy just a regular car, I'll buy it with Bitcoin because it's worth a lot. And
Buy American, get a Hellcat. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think
'cause
we
while
may
you're going
actually,
through all the
in this
documents to do all
cycle,
that stuff, the Bitcoin will take 30 minutes to transact. Who gives a crap? It's going to take longer to do all the paperwork.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I think in this cycle or the next cycle with Bitcoin, we may see even greater Bitcoin returns, because neither of the past halvings had a huge printing of money. Like, because we track Bitcoin returns versus US dollars, like, first we have the effect from the halving, the diminishing supply, but then also this time we have the effect from insane devaluation of the currency, the US dollar.
I think that's why we're looking at, like, look, guys, if anybody watching my channel, they know when I make predictions, I stand by them. I do not change them based on fluctuations of this or that. So I have made a prediction of 225K Bitcoin. I made it at the beginning of last year, and I'm sticking out. So I'm sticking with that. That is my whatever. However, I do feel pressure to change it. Like, if I was a person that changed it, I would be changing it because of exactly what Randall is talking about, which is we've never seen what we're seeing right now with the money printing. So when we look at the last I'm so big. If someone who's watching this is not watching my channel, I'm so big on believing in the power of the Bitcoin cycles. And so I look a lot at the history of the previous Bitcoin cycles to determine what's going to happen in the future. I don't get caught up on the charts. I don't care what the weekly chart looks like over the last 6 weeks. Like, I don't care. I look at where we should be based on the cycles. Okay. And so, you know, for Bitcoin for this bull market to last longer than September 28th, that means that it would have to do something, well, for it to last a month longer, 2 months longer, 3 months longer, a year longer, like a 2.5 year bull run or whatever, it would have to do something different than it's always done before. Now, at some point, Bitcoin will do something different than it's ever done before. I don't know what that will be. Maybe when it hits $1 million and it stabilizes, when like one Satoshi is worth about a penny now or whatever, that could be the case. But until Bitcoin does something different, I'm going to keep going with history. And so when we look back at the history of the last bull market, the Bitcoin all-time high was 1121. That was the number it had to hit. When it finally passed over 1121 and it went up, when it hit 20,000, that was 17.8x its previous all-time high. And we've seen that the volatility has actually already over the first 3 cycles has lessened a little bit each cycle, right? So like if we were to say it lessens just a little bit and it goes up 15x, okay, well, now we're talking about a $300,000 Bitcoin, which lines up exactly with what the stock flow chart says, what the Citibank, what the Citi report said, what a lot of people are saying around $300,000 Bitcoin. However, it would not take much. The really interesting thing, if you guys study the stock to flow chart, if you guys have looked at the stock to flow chart, it is not like incremental, like 5 is here, 10 is here, 15 is here, 20 is here. It's like 0 is here. I'm trying to show this. 0 is here. 1,000 is here. 10,000 is here. 100,000 is here.
It's a logarithmic scale.
Is a logarithmic scale. Thank you. Exactly. So what you're seeing is that if Bitcoin just goes slightly above where it's estimated to be on the chart, on the stock to flow chart, it could easily get to $500,000. It's not a huge jump. And when you combine the money printing and the devaluation of the US dollar and say, if it just hit 17.x, if it just did what it did last time, it would be $360,000. With the money printing combined, I think we are potentially looking at the most bullish case ever for Bitcoin in this bull run. I could see Bitcoin hitting $400,000 to $500,000 in this bull cycle.
Anything's possible. It's hard to make predictions, though. You know.
Well,
It's really not though. It's really not though.
Okay,
it's not hard because there's history.
I just did this.
Yeah, but it's hard to say like
prediction is
exactly.
400K.
We don't know.
And what time frame you said? September? Ben?
September 28th. So that's based on what's called the golden bull cycle ratio, which is the number of weeks between the low of the market and the halving, and the all-time high, or in the top of the bull market.
It's the 49-51 ratio.
Yes, it's symmetrical. So if you we already knew the amount of days that we had from the bottom of the market to the halving. So you take that symmetrical, you take a ratio and you say that's 49%. What's the 51% of that? And you come up with September 28th. That's 504 days from the halving. And so that's generally what we should have. Once again, if it goes outside of that range, give or take a week on either end, it will do something different than it's ever done before.
Yeah, you can see a trading shot chart of that.
Yes, that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trading shot.
Right. We love it. We love it.
No, the question is,
Go
guys,
big
when
or
do
go
you
home,
think
right?
the real alt season starts? Because this has been a thing that I think everyone's been talking
after
about.
Bitcoin peaks. I think that's
Say it again.
I think after Bitcoin peaks, 2 weeks later, we have the height of the altcoin market.
That's not what we saw before, though. I mean, that's not what we've seen in the past.
It's kind of been alt season now, just kind of
There's an overlap. Altcoin season started in November.
Sideways around 18K.
Yeah.
Alts began to rally.
Yep.
Now as Bitcoin is going up, alts have also been going up. So
The
honestly,
last time what happened,
against
Bitcoin
BTC,
went
though.
up, and then ETH went up, Litecoin went up, and then all the other alts went up.
That's no,
Yeah.
but that's not actually. That's when they peaked. That's when they peaked. But if you really go back and look at the altcoin cycle from last time, it really started in the beginning of November. The beginning of November, Bitcoin was not yet. I think Bitcoin was around 12, 13, 14,000 at that point, possibly. I can't remember exactly where it was. But the beginning of November is when Cardano, when Neo, when XRP, when a lot of these started to really, really go up. And I know because I had just gotten in a bunch of them and the price started shooting up. Then Bitcoin hit its all-time high. And then over the next month or about 3.5 weeks, that's when they peaked. But altcoin season really started when Bitcoin was around about $12,000, $13,000.
And here's the thing: if you buy them too early, so there's a month between both peaks. If you buy it before that 2 weeks after the Bitcoin peak, you're actually losing in Bitcoin comparative.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Against BTC, I want to see an alt season because for me, Bitcoin alt pairs are what actually tell me it's alt season. If I see all the alts, like even Ren, all these great alts that had huge moves, like we had like a mini alt season before Bitcoin moved, I would agree with that. But I mean like the real alt season where we see alt pairs outperform Bitcoin at the levels that they did the last cycle. So that's what a lot of people ask me. I think that's coming up, but it's not here yet.
I think it's not till the summer, honestly.
That part is true. Yeah, it's not here yet.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think it's not going to come until the summer. I mean, I think May is kind of when we're going to see Bitcoin do some real fireworks. And I think that, sometime over the summer, we're going to, we just saw it over the summer this time. So we've got some, timing precedent for that. And I mean, that may not be that important, but that's what I think. But I think we will see, intermediate altcoin seasons, kind of like we've just had some, you know, when you look at what XRP did and Stellar did, you have some movement of altcoins, but you're right. I think though, there is kind of a misconception. Like if you have a big portfolio, like if you have a lot of money, like if you have, I mean, 6 figures may not be a lot of money to some people, but I think if you have 6 figures in crypto, like you've got a really big portfolio right now, like going into what we're about to hit, you can't look at it all the time. Like, well, am I outperforming Bitcoin? You know, I think that you're going to have some bags you just accumulate that you sit, that, you know, you've got those for when it, you know, when it does truly pop off, and you've got your Bitcoin bag as well. And then there may be strategic times where you say, okay, for right now, this season, I'm going to take a lot of Bitcoin or all my Bitcoin, whatever it is. Like I just did, I traded all my Ethereum for Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit $24,000 or 23.5. That was my plan. I traded all back to Ethereum, and now Bitcoin's still outperforming that a little bit, but I think over the next, you know, month or so, I think Ethereum's gonna have a good run up. So there are certain points where you make some big strategic moves, some huge trades. But outside of that, like accumulate some alts. You know what I'm saying? Just accumulate some, like put some in your portfolio. And then when they do run, you'll get that reward. You can't, when people try to move all of their crypto back and forth too much, that's the number one way people lose, especially with retail investors.
Absolutely. And chasing gains.
Absolutely.
Like when something's super popular, buying it then. Becoming
I think you're going to see sector rotations like equities.
Too. Sorry, go ahead.
In other words,
we've seen that, Bill, for sure. I agree with you.
It'll be like, okay, this will be Bitcoin week. And then it'll be, now we're in like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Synthetics week, right? And then there'll be Yearn, Aave, DeFi, and then Degen, right? So because the institutions are getting involved, right? You're going to start seeing the stuff you saw in equities start being reflected in crypto. Crypto will be broken up into sectors by the end of 2021, not just the market cap chart.
So speaking of gains, have you guys heard of Graph? The Graph? They just listed.
We were talking about this on Crypto Banter the other day. It was 23 cents. This is like three days ago.
Yeah, this is blown up.
It's just blowing up, man.
Done what, like a 30x?
I think this is a perfect example of what we're going to see.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect example of what we're going to see. We're going to see coins that come out like this. Can't remember what it was a few weeks ago, but I know my brother, I've got him, you know, he's interested. He's bought Ethereum, he's bought Bitcoin. And like, he was like, man, I wish I would have bought Dash or whatever it was that day that was pumping on Coinbase that went up like 70%. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Dash, whatever it was. I think this is what we're going to see. Like Bill said, we're going to see this, you know, rotation of niches, rotation of sectors, rotation of coins. That's why I think it's really good now for people to be looking at a lot of the coins we mentioned earlier in the stream that are kind of newer. You know,
now this project I think is right now it might be too overvalued because it's almost $1 billion market cap. It's entering top 30 because we did look into this to all our customers. We did cover the code review on this, I think back in August, and this was pretty much a solid project. But even we didn't expect this project to just pump like this straight out the gate, launching on Coinbase, on Binance, pretty much every big exchange on the first day.
Yeah.
So they definitely had some insiders somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
How great would that be to have the inside track to Coinbase, what they're going to list?
Well,
because Coinbase added them first before Binance. That's when you know they had a super inside track.
Anything that goes on Coinbase when you're in a bull season, you should. I mean, this is just it's not really a good strategy, but you should. I buy it basically. Like you should do whatever you want, but I buy them. If I see something is going on like DNT and CVC and all these coins, I saw they're going on Binance and it was like, all right, just buy it. Yep. I'm just going to buy it, put 1% risk and see what happens. And they go and do like 200, 300, 500%. And you're like sitting there going, well, that was an easy buy. And I just keep moving my stop up. Like this is the stuff, like it gives instant validation. And who can buy when it goes on Coinbase? All the people in the US. They're already banned from Binance and Hobby. So, you know, who's got the most money? People in the US. Follow the money. That's all you got to do.
Well, the ironic thing is, you know, a lot of people point back at Coinbase actually started the bear market too, you know, because they, the exact opposite, they announced that they were not putting more coins on anytime soon. And that tweet, if you go back and look at the exact top of the market for altcoins, as it was with XRP. XRP was the altcoin season last year or last cycle. I mean, and Brian Armstrong, everybody, the rumor was it was going on Coinbase. The price had gone up to like $3.20. It was getting ready to run. They just announced a Western Union partnership or whatever it was. And then Brian Armstrong tweeted out, I think it was on January 8th, something like that. Coinbase has not made any decisions on adding any assets anytime soon. And you watch what happened after that tweet. Everything dropped, and then that was the end of the bull market. I remember. I saw the tweet. I had a lot of XRP.
Spoiling the party.
What's that?
Coinbase.
Right, now they're going to do just the opposite.
Yeah,
What once they go public, they're gonna have to beat everyone to market.
What is that?
Now they're competing. Now they're competing with PayPal, Square, Sailor. Like they have to get relevant. They got to get a debit card attached to the account, right? So Coinbase, in order to justify the likely stratospheric valuation that they'll come out at, they're going to have to offer American investors access to the Altcoin casino.
Yeah.
So
what does that do for the crypto markets when they launch their IPO?
Exposure. It makes crypto
just
legit.
it makes the media. It makes the
validation.
media cover it.
Yeah.
Right. Like the media is not covering Bitcoin.
It's pretty much a crypto success story, right? So
Yeah.
crypto isn't really seen as Silk Road, the dark web,
Yeah.
offshore taxes, what have you. Now crypto is legit in the eyes of Wall Street.
Right.
trying to
Like
pull up
we
the
talk to
valuation for
reporters. The
Coinbase.
reporters get it. The reporters understand the crypto stories, but they're having trouble selling it to their editors.
Yeah.
Right. Because they either don't want to cover it or don't understand it. Once Coinbase becomes public, right, they're gonna have to understand it.
Yeah. Well, we know how those narratives are controlled by the fake news. We know.
Michael is
Right.
helping all of us by telling, Elon Musk in public forums that Elon said, well, how could you get all this money into it? And he's like, I bought $1.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. It was in the same tweet that actually Ian pulled up later on like a little bit further down that tweet. He actually says like, well, I can't put that much money into Bitcoin. He says, actually, you can. I bought $1.3 billion. So Michael's become this like big time cheerleader for crypto. And I think that's making real institutions like look into it and say, well, this is something real. And so you can see right there, I purchased $1.3 billion in the past few months. Happy to share my playbook with you offline.
Yeah.
One rocket scientist to another. I mean, this is instant like validation where hedge funds are starting to look into it. I have one, I'm working with a project called Finex Flow, and they're traditional market guys, and they want to come and enter crypto and fix the whole problem of like wash trading and all these the problems of liquidity. And they're like, yeah, Joel, like the problem is there's no liquidity in the crypto market. No one understands it. But now all these guys are hitting up to my buddy James, and they're saying, hey, we want to get involved in this space. This space looks really interesting. It looks really, really like valid. It's not a scam like you guys all thought it was before. And they're starting to be kind of curious. Problem with them is there's not enough liquidity, right? So if we solve the liquidity problem, the guys like Questrade and DBS Bank, they actually want to be a part of this ecosystem. And the reason why they want to be a part of it is because they can provide that type of liquidity, but they need like avenues to do it that are legit. And right now, the problem with the exchanges is a lot of them are kind of shady. And when I say kind of, I mean really.
No, that is not true. That is a lie.
Not at all. We need regulations. I think like I've been saying it for a few years.
Bitswapdex.io. Thank you.
Yeah, I love DEXs and the idea, but you're not going to get a $100 million fund to trade on a DEX, really, maybe, but very rarely is that ever going to happen. I think with regulated entities, they want other regulated entities. So if you give regulated entities like Questrade another regulated entity to go and trade on, IPOs help for sure as well. You can start building those bridges, which then give DeFi and Bitcoin and all these actual liquidity so you can trade. Because these guys trade like $100 million a day. They're doing, intraday trading. You can't do that in crypto. It's just there's not the ability to do it. You can't do it yet. Once we build that, once that comes, that's why I'm talking about Microsoft is 3 times as big as the whole market. Once the market is trillions of dollars, this thing is going to fly. It's just a matter of time. It's not a like if, it's a when. And I think
it's so exciting.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're saying the bigger it gets, the higher it can go.
It's so exciting.
The higher into space, right, Bill?
Yes, right.
Yeah,
literally, right.
It's so exciting that we're like leading the new age of money. It's like so exciting to be part of this and just thinking about the prospects of where all this is going to go. And like, we just have the opportunity to talk about this every day. So I was on the phone with a guy who manages billions of dollars. Now, it's a real weird story how I ended up on the phone with this guy, but actually had nothing to do with crypto, but then he wanted to know about what I was doing in crypto. So I ended up talking to him about it. And, the interesting thing was, I think I always had this perspective that these people didn't want part of crypto because of like Silk Road and because it was like, the criminals use it. And he said, that's not the case at all. Like basically all of these people, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, when this was all still, pretty much brand new and developing, all these bigger funds, like they thought that this was just some crazy hippie libertarian way for people to hide money from the governments. Like that's what they thought. They thought it was all about taxes and like trying to hide money. And now like they're slowly all starting to realize like, wait a second, this is like legit now. And it's not that anymore. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss is the changing narrative of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin started as peer-to-peer electronic currency. It is not that at all anymore. You can still trade it peer-to-peer, but we all know that it is digital gold. That is what it is. It is a hedge of value. That's why like, hey, if I had like, 7 gold bars, I might could trade you that for a house, but I'm not going to use that as daily currency, Mm-hmm. And I think, this narrative of what Bitcoin started as and what it is now is like totally different. And now you have these institutions and these corporations that are really shaping the narrative of what it is. I mean, I just can't say enough how much PayPal getting into crypto has changed the respect level of it everywhere. Like, is it good for crypto custody? Like, is it good for you to tell people to like buy Bitcoin on PayPal so they can save their lives if there's an apocalypse? No, because you can't withdraw it. It's just sitting there. You can't do anything with it. But was it good for the respect level of cryptocurrency and what people think of it? Like, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
And over the next year, like people are going to wake up, and it's just amazing how much. Like, I got a storage unit for some extra stuff we have at my house. And I was talking to the guy that worked at the storage unit, which if you've ever rented a storage unit, guys that work at storage units are insane. I'll just say that. They're really crazy. They'll talk your ear off, and they always have really slow moving computers. And I'm just like, I wish y'all would get a Mac, But so I'm in there for 30 minutes waiting for this computer to update all my information. I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm here working here. I've been a manager here for like 6 months. I got laid off because of the pandemic. I was working in finance. And I said, have you heard about decentralized finance? This was when decentralized finance was popping off. It was like back in August. And he was like, no, I haven't. And I'm just like, I went to the bank and I did some stuff at the bank, which I'm getting more and more reports from people I know talking about how much of control of their money the bank is. They're not able to send money where they want. They're not able to put it on Coinbase. They're not able to send it out for OTC trades on, you have to lie and tell your bank, unless it's Wells Fargo or one of the major ones. They're a little more friendly. But you have to lie and say like you're using that money for gold, and they'll be like, oh, okay, no problem. But if they think it's crypto, they're not letting you transfer it out. I talked to a lady at the bank, and I was like, she said, what do you do? I rolled the dice. I said, well, I talk about Bitcoin for a living. And she's like, oh, that's cool. I said, yeah, I'm basically trying to take your job, but I'll put in a good word for you when Bitcoin, destroys your bank. These people are clueless. They have no idea that any of this is happening. People in finance don't know about decentralized finance. No. People that work at the banks, the managers of the banks, have no idea what is coming, the rush that's coming to Bitcoin. I just think it's just so.
I think a lot of these insurance companies and guys who are buying Bitcoin, who are just like doing their own slow FOMO in, I don't think they know about decentralized finance. Like, again, that's going to be the game, right? How fast can you get DeFi people on staff at big institutions to start figuring out, oh, yes, I have Bitcoin and I'm getting X rate of return. Right. They all compete against each other. Mm-hmm. And this whole monkey see, monkey do phenomenon that that's what takes Tesla and Zoom up. Right. That's going to start, what interest rate what return can you get on Bitcoin?
Now, the thing with DeFi, though, I don't think it's really going to blow up and bring in institutions until there's more clarity around the regulation and compliance of DeFi.
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Right? And I think that's probably going to happen sometime next year. I think we can all anticipate maybe first half of the year, the SEC, CFTC makes an example.
We don't know.
They got their hands tied with a pandemic, Ian. I don't know if they can do anything next year.
Well, how did you all start in crypto, right? You bought a Bitcoin, right? I mean, I did. I bought some Bitcoin, had no idea what the hell it did. And then all of a sudden you started making money and you're like, this is very interesting. What is it really? And then you look at it and then you start finding other kinds of crypto. You're like, oh, there's Ethereum. And now it does all these things. And there's XRP. And this is
Wasn't no Ethereum around when I bought a Bitcoin first time.
So I think that's the really important part, though, is we need them, the institutions, to go and start with Bitcoin, and then them to realize like, oh, there's Ethereum, and oh, Ethereum has this thing called decentralized finance, and how does that work? And I think that will start the rabbit hole, and we might see decentralized finance shift a little bit because they're coming in, but that might be for the better for decentralized finance. We'll see. I don't know. It could be for worse.
All
right, guys, I got to take off. So,
all right. Well, thank you, Randall.
Yeah.
Are you
I'll
a
see you all
rocket
later.
ship?
Where can people find you, Randall?
Good to see y'all.
Want to do a quick
Where can
plug?
everyone find you?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Crypto Love YouTube channel.
Crypto
Just
Love.
type in Crypto Love. One of the oldest crypto YouTube channels out there. Boom.
And one of the oldest crypto YouTubers.
I know, right?
I'm right there with you though, bud.
Yeah. You
you guys
see
can
how
all shut up.
Bill.
Sorry.
Peace, everyone.
All right, see you, Randall.
All right, take care.
Okay, I'm gonna jump off as well.
Yeah.
I got to run, but I actually have to go to the bathroom. I've been holding it for 2 hours now. Okay. Here's this is the final thing I want to leave people with, which is also, if you want to find me, just search this anywhere, Bitboy Crypto. You'll find me everywhere. The thing I want to, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on Facebook and Google and Amazon and these companies, like what's going to happen when they get into crypto. Every time we've had any kind of revolution in the world, the companies that come out of that revolution are usually not the same companies that we went into that revolution as the tops. And I think that really speaks to the opportunity that exists with a lot of these top projects, all these top coins. Could we be looking at the next Googles, the next Amazons, the next Facebooks, the next?
They're just gonna sit by and watch their relevancy fade, and there's nothing they can do about it because it's decentralized.
That's right.
That goes for the banks and FANG. He's absolutely right.
That's technology. That's the future. Just remember, you want to be invested in Netflix, not Blockbuster. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
All
And
right,
thank you,
Ben.
Token Metrics, for
Good
allowing me
having
to
you on.
join you guys. And we will talk to you guys later. Bitboy out.
Big boy out.
See you later.
All right.
Okay.
And Coach K?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys, again. Always a pleasure.
Coach,
You guys
always
go
good
on
to see you.
Metrics. It was always great to see you guys.
Yeah.
What I'd like you guys to do is go and check out Token Metrics, everyone. It's a really great platform. I mean, you've heard about it, but just go and, if you're not too sure, go get the minimum plan, and start and just check it out. I think it's a great platform. You got two really, really smart guys that helped create it. And I've been using it. It's pretty great for helping you with, even as a trader myself, it gives me some things to keep my eyes on every day, every week. You guys can build a portfolio pretty simply. So check that out. Give this video a like, subscribe, what the drill is. And if you want to find me, Coach K Crypto, it's pretty much everything. You can find me on Telegram. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram, all Coach K Crypto. I'm the only one. And then on YouTube as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Ian. Thanks Bill. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Coach
And
K.
see you guys. Thanks for having me again.
Take care, Coach.
Take care.
And then Bill, any last words to our crypto family?
Crypto family, you're not too late and you're not too early. You're right on time. And every time I have one of these panels and, I listen to sort of like the OGs, the brain trust, if you will, from YouTube, it's breathtaking what I learned. So don't worry, folks. You're right on time. Stay with us, stay with Token Metrics. And for our Token Metrics customers, we got enough of them now. So let me just say, my final ending is we appreciate your business. So thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Good night. Oh, man. Oh, man. What's up, everybody? You guys want to do overtime? Overtime session? Okay, so I just want to clarify a few things here. Let's see how we're doing. If you enjoyed the live stream, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. and share this video with your friends. But most important of all, want to make sure everybody gets a chance to possibly earn $1,000. No joke, no BS, straight moolah. Okay, so I've been seeing some people making mistakes on this, so I just want to clarify this. Let me pull up my screen. All right. So there's a chance for you all to win free money. Yes, free money. Pick the token with the highest ROI this week. Right now, it is December 20th, 2020 on a Sunday. So between now and basically the next live stream, which is on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll pick one winner to give $1,000. So you have to pick a project that's in the top 100 market cap, meaning that if you go to Tokenmetrics, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, pick a project with the top 100 market cap and tag us on Twitter at Tokenmetrics Inc. Then tag the project. I'm seeing lots of people who are tagging us, but not tagging the project. You have to tag the project so we know what project you're talking about. And the hashtag Tokenmetrics. We've also posted this tweet here, or this picture, which shows you how to qualify. But let me show you an example of what I mean, right? Like Omar, you have to tag the project, not the hashtag, but tag EOS. Tag EOS on Twitter and tag us, and then use the hashtag to qualify, right? Because I'm seeing lots of people who are not tagging the project, they're just using the hashtag. So make sure you tag the project to qualify. And yeah, so whoever has the best pick wins. And the tiebreaker, going back here, right? So if multiple people pick the right coin, the tiebreaker is determined by the person with the most retweets. So once you make your pick, retweet that, share that with all your friends, let them know, because if multiple people pick the same coin, the person with the most retweets wins, right? So go out there, evangelize. Let's see who's the best analyst for the next week. Let's see here. Wow, stimulus package approved. Oh, wow, this is crazy. But anyway, this is our stimulus package. So this is all kicking off the 12 days of Tokenmetrics. So for the next 12 days, we'll be bringing the heat, bringing the fire. We'll be bringing the moon man, right? The magical moon man. We're going to the moon. But anyway, we're kicking off 12 days of Tokenmetrics to start the holiday festivities. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate. Happy crypto holidays. Happy Moon Lambo. So first official day begins today, and we're kicking things off with giving away $1,000. So you know it's going to be fire. Stay tuned. People have been asking us for a holiday discount, and it is coming. We have listened. Lots of people loved the Black Friday 40% off discount. Unfortunately, we can't do that again. However, we'll give you a reasonable discount for the holidays. So the discount will likely be 25% off. So stay tuned. We'll be sharing the coupon code. Make sure you join our newsletter to get the coupon code. Go to tokenmetrics.com/newsletter. If for some reason you haven't yet subscribed to Tokenmetrics, not sure why you haven't at this point, because if you're watching our videos, it makes sense. But if you haven't yet, or maybe you want to gift Tokenmetrics to a friend, to somebody who's getting into crypto, get 25% off. Lifetime discount. 25% off lifetime discount. This is a rare opportunity just for the 12 days of Tokenmetrics. We'll be sending out the code to our newsletter. Go to tokenmetrics.com/newsletter to subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe. We're trying to make sure you start the new year off in style. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So with that being said, I mean, it's been great. It's been a great week, great year. Enjoying here, Austin, building out the studio. Thank you to everybody. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and go on Twitter and tell us what project you think will be the best performing project in the next week? Okay, let me see here. Sorry, I couldn't get to all the. Okay, hold on here. Sorry, give me 1 second. People posting comments. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get to all this super chats and comments, but we're doing the roundtable. Let us know if you guys like the roundtables. If you like them, we'll do a lot more of them. So the more free feedback we get, the better. Yes, be sure to smash the like button. Thank you all for the kind words. Hire me, Ian. I can use the AI SM tracker to seek gems full-time via Zoom. I'm not sure I understand. We're hiring senior data scientists. If you have a computer science degree and a grad degree in AI or machine learning, we want to hear from you. If you work for an all-star company, we want to hear from you. Just go to, or just email info@tokenmetrics.com, or just email Saira, SAIRA @tokenmetrics.com. She's helping with our recruiting. But yeah, I missed Ian pressing those music buttons. Yeah, we got this music.
Questioning myself if I believe it though. No longer question if I'm really a believer though. Now you should take into account that my account.
Okay, hold on. So somebody's saying stimulus package has been approved. Let me look this up. Ooh. Oh man. Okay, hold up. Let me share my screen. This is big. Okay, all right. Let me just. Okay, so Congress reaches deal on $900 billion pandemic relief plan. Package has expanded jobless aid, small business assistance. Legislation is still being written. Votes are planned on Monday. Okay, so looks like they still have to vote on it. Okay, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer announced a accord on Sunday. Direct payments of $600 to most Americans and $300 per week in enhanced unemployment benefits through March. All right. Expiring programs for gig workers and the long-term unemployed also would continue. Okay. $284 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program that provides forgivable loans to small businesses. Oh, wow. More money to small businesses. Okay. All right. I mean, hey, they're printing money. This money has to come from somewhere. But regardless of what happens, crypto is going to the moon. I mean, I think we all know that now. The fact that we're seeing institutions FOMO into this means that this is a move, right? So all of us are in position to do well. Okay. Martin says, I'd like to see your helium hotspot on your shelf. Get it on your window ledge for better signal strength. Give us your HNT price prediction, please. Okay, so the reason why you guys probably can't hear me, but let me show you this. I got the antenna set up. It's like a lightsaber. So I'm not using the stock antenna anymore. I was able to buy an adapter. So, because when I moved, I broke one of the pieces. So I bought one of those SMA adapters and I hooked that up. Let me see how it's doing. I'm not really seeing that big of a difference. Although when I do earn tokens, I'm getting more tokens. So I'm not sure whether it's just random or the antenna is actually working. Because this is my first time actually testing this out in a big region. Like, just earned 2.65 HNT tokens about 3 hours ago, 0.54 prior to that. Yeah, so it's kind of on and off. Actually, today's been a slow day. What the hell? um, yeah, I mean, helium's, I'm not sure what's going on, but I mean, I know they did cap the supply with the new improvement proposal, but I'm bullish on helium. I mean, so what's my price prediction for helium? I have lots of videos covering this, but basically I think helium's going to be a top 30 project. So if we go to top 30 market cap, all right, let's pull this up. Just give me 1 second. All right. If we here, let's use coin market cap, right? HNT. Right now it's ranked 117, market cap of basically 90 million. If we go to, right, top 30 would put it at basically at $1 billion market cap, give or take. Why is this not loading? Okay, let's go to CoinGecko. Okay, so yeah, so we're basically looking at about a 10, over a 10x is still left in helium, in my opinion, right? So current price for helium is at $1.42, right? As you see here, the supply has now been capped. So we have what, about, actually, you know what? Let me just calculate the exact math. That'll be easier. So 27% of the tokens have been minted, or they're circulating. So basically a quarter, right? So 75%. So there will be some dilution. But in general, though, the fact that now they've capped the supply, that definitely does improve the token metrics. But basically, helium can go to $10. That's my not financial advice on helium. Helium to $10. And if you go to markets, it's on Binance, volume of about 300,000. I'm not sure about this exchange. Binance US, FTX, barely any volume there. But Coinbase is the one. Right? If this goes to Coinbase, catch me in Dubai. Catch me in Ibiza. Catch me crypto slowdown. Speaking of Dubai, though, I'm thinking of coming to Dubai for New Year's, probably in a week or so after Christmas, to finish 2020 in style. But I haven't booked travel yet. But looking like it for Dubai. So if there's any crypto family in Dubai, heck, if there's crypto family in Austin, let me know. Post it down in the comments below. All right, because we're planning to do some crypto get-togethers, meetups. Right. So actually, just met up with somebody from crypto last night and today. Somebody spotted me. I was out last night in Austin, and somebody spotted me like, "Hey, that's Diary of a Made Man." So they watched the channel. We linked up, went to a basketball game. So that was pretty cool. Oh, Javid says you're in Austin. Nice. Okay, somebody says they're in Dubai. Cool. All right, so I'll definitely. I think probably. I'm not sure what the best way is to organize it, but because I'm not sure what COVID is like in Dubai, but I think it's more open because they are allowing Americans, right? That's one of the reasons why I want to do Dubai, because it's been over a year since I traveled. In crypto, that's forever. No crypto world tour at all this year, which sucks. So I need to just get away from everything. So looking like Dubai or maybe somewhere else. I was hoping to do Thailand, but Thailand is closed to Americans. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. But either way, though, I'm here in Austin now. Definitely want to start doing possibly a Tokenmetrics conference here in Austin. Imagine a global Tokenmetrics conference. Let me know if you guys like that. If it's good, we'll make it something big and global. right? Just hoping this vaccine can hurry up and open things up, right? Because I think all of us want to get back to living our lives. Okay, just give me 1 second here, trying to see what the comments are. Dubai, dude, all the trader. Yeah, there's lots of crypto families in Dubai. I know lots of people out there, Crypto Jack. I know Crypto and Carl are there. Arut, founder of BizTalks. Lots of people are there. Right? You drive down to Austin for a meetup. Nice. I followed you on Clubhouse. Nice, that's what's up. Yeah, so I just joined Clubhouse. Haven't really tried it or used it yet, just kind of checking it out. Somebody sent me an invite. Okay, let me see if I can answer some of these super chats that I missed. Actually, let me move this so you guys can see me as Okay, so should we be worried about the Ledger hack FUD, about the leak of personal data? It sounds like it is real, but I heard it through Twitter. So, oh man, well, Ledger, yeah, they've been hacked. I think it was an email list. Last time I checked, they hacked their email list, and they've been trying to do targeted phishing attacks to take people's crypto, right? Because it's basically a gold mine. They have a list of people with crypto and their wallet addresses, and they're trying to scam them to get their private keys. So definitely be cautious in crypto. I think in crypto, as somebody who's been hacked, right, it's definitely not cool, right? Losing money, unfortunately. But so you got to protect your data, right? Your information. Honestly, though, sometimes you could do everything right and still end up having your info leaked, right? Whether it's through hacks like Ledger or somebody else's negligence, right? So you should definitely be worried. But in general, when you're in crypto, you want to follow all the advice people tell you, right? When dealing with exchanges, like have a separate email, separate everything just for crypto. Don't mix everything, right? So have like, let's say a Proton Mail email, for example, for just exchanges. Use that. Just try to be as low key as possible. I know it sounds vague. We're actually working on a guide for this on crypto security. Basically, having our team put that together, kind of sharing different things, strategies to make sure you protect yourself. But the best thing I can say is get a password manager. Don't use the same passwords. That's how I got hacked. So check your email on sites like Have I Been Pwned, and see if your email has been compromised, because that's usually the first way hackers get in. It's so freaking easy. Even a baby could do it, literally, right? Like script kiddies could do it. So it's not even like actual hacking, honestly. So you definitely want to be very cognizant of that. Then there's lots of other advanced stuff you could do, but that's probably the best place to start. Actually, let me see if I can move this camera, because I know some people want to see my face. Is that better, everybody? Let me know. How's the lighting though? Can you guys see? Okay, anyway, I'm not sure if the lighting is coming across well here. But anyway, the show must go on. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. Okay, trying to find a super chat here. Apologies. Okay, looks like we have too many comments. I cannot see the super chat. Okay, so I'm gonna have to skip that one. what do you think about the new exchange and crypto bank PointPay? I haven't heard of it, unfortunately. I'm not really doing ICOs, so it doesn't make any sense. API 3. Yes, so our team did look into it for some development work we're building internally for Token Metrics. I think I mentioned before, we're doing the asset allocator on the Ethereum blockchain, and we also need to have oracles as well. So our team did look into it, but what they mentioned is their documentation is very early or barely there, and it's early basically. It's promising, but it's early. Chainlink is still king, basically. That's long story short. However, it is promising. But yeah, I mean, Austin is the move, right? I think we're talking about. So I'll tell you why I moved to Austin. So I moved to Austin. First reason, well, I came to Texas in general for no state taxes, right? Obviously, new tax year next year, trying to plan out my taxes because the last bull run, oh man, that was no joke. Those crypto gains, I mean, heaven and hell. Heaven when you have the gains, then when you see your taxes, and you're like, how much am I paying to the state of Maryland in taxes? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the DMV, but it is not that nice to a point where I got to pay taxes like that, right? Especially when I can come to Texas or Florida or other states in the country and live tax-free. So to me, it was a no-brainer. So the plan was to move down here before end of the tax year, and here I am, right? So going forward, I'm saving at least 6-7% in taxes on whatever I make, right? I thought about going to Puerto Rico, but honestly, Puerto Rico is not for me. I like big cities. I'm not so sure Puerto Rico is my kind of vibe. I've not been. I still want to go check it out. I've had a few people invite me. So I know there's a huge crypto scene there, but everyone I know in crypto who's in Puerto Rico for Act 20 during COVID was not in Puerto Rico. They came back to the States, right? So it seems like nobody actually likes being in Puerto Rico, right? So no offense to my crypto family in Puerto Rico, but I mean, I just like America. But outside of that though, Austin has the biggest crypto community in the US and tech scene as well, outside of Silicon Valley and New York. Like the crypto family here is huge. I mean, even in a pandemic, I'm getting recognized. Yeah, like I've gone out for like dinner, drinks, whatever, 3 times in the last like 3 weekends, and 2 out of 3 times, people are coming up to me like, "Oh, Token Metrics, made man." So then I've been to 2 crypto dinners with our crypto family here, and the people here, the quality is amazing. There's a crypto exodus, as the person is saying. I already know lots of VCs and other people coming down to Austin. So I think in the next year or 2, there'll be a massive crypto exodus, especially now during COVID. Because why, especially with California, California is just trying to lose people. California is charging people 50% in taxes. I mean, well, total tax for people in the high net worth bracket in California is 50%. I mean, that's like straight up socialism, right? So Elon Musk came to Texas, Tesla is coming to Austin, HP coming to Texas, Austin, I believe, Oracle. So, I mean, the wave is coming. The wave is coming. Joe Rogan came down here. Ian Balina is down here. Bill's probably coming to Austin as well. So the exodus is happening. Austin is the move. Austin is the vibe. So Austin is the new crypto capital of the world, I think, at least here in the US. Thoughts on Bitcoin Black? I've not heard of it. Chris Dunn lives in Austin. That's cool. That's what's up. Texans are what? Unfortunately, I cannot give financial advice. All I can say is go to tokenmetrics.com and check us out if you want to help. If you want help with your portfolio. You still need Matic. Benjay. Not sure I understand. Yeah, I still have Matic. I'm still holding that. I'm staking that, but it hasn't been moving much, unfortunately. I mean, so what we're doing can't use Matic Network because what we're doing for the asset allocator has to be on chain. So as a result, Matic is a side chain. So Matic can't really qualify and help us with what we're doing. Ian, can you please update on the future updates of token metrics? Yeah, absolutely. So I'll kind of share what I've been, is this focused? Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure this is. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so I'll speak to what we have in mind for token metrics. But we're about to change up the game. Actually, maybe I could show this document. Okay, let me. Okay, so time for an unofficial tentative update on token metrics roadmap. First of all, thank you to crypto family. We cannot be here without you. You have helped us go to the moon and beyond, literally to the moon and beyond. And we want to take it to the moon and beyond and beyond and beyond. But in terms of what we have in store, we're launching Token Metrics 2.0, rebuilt from the ground up, more modern design, more sleek, faster. I know people have been complaining about the speed. So we're changing backends from MySQL to MongoDB, which will make everything smoother, better UI, user experience. So that's the first part. Token Metrics 2.0. We're expecting to launch that, I would say, early as Q1. Let's say late Q1, maybe early Q2 is probably the time frame, right? So to be aggressive, Q1, to be conservative, Q2 as worst case, but that's planned to launch, right? And what does that entail? Right now, Token Metrics, we're looking at about, I would say like over 100, let's say 150, maybe almost 200 data points. It's because we have the quant grade looks like 54 metrics. We have TA, which looks at about 20. And so, but the main things we're adding in 2.0, we plan to add sentiment analysis. This is going to be huge. Sentiment analysis, being able to, we're building custom AI models to do sentiment analysis on all tokens. And if you add in the fact that in the next month or so, right now we have 500 crypto assets in Token Metrics, and we're almost done integrating into CoinGecko, where we can just automatically ingest new tokens from CoinGecko, meaning that the plan is to be able to scan 6,000 coins in CoinGecko, because CoinGecko has 6,000 coins. So we'll be going from 500 to 6,000 coins. And once we do that, the plan is then to do sentiment analysis on all those coins. I mean, yes, I know there's some platforms doing that. I think Lunar Crush, but I'm not sure if they're using machine learning for their models, but we'll be doing custom AI models for sentiment analysis for all these coins. That in itself is a game changer, especially for people who like sentiment analysis, right? So we'll be getting data from Twitter, from Telegram, from Reddit. That is huge, right? Just think about that. We have our AI. I mean, if this might be too much for people. It's kind of like the AI taking over crypto. We have our AI going to these Telegram groups and doing sentiment analysis in all these projects Telegram groups. So like, take for example, Cardano Telegram group, Binance, right? Imagine going to the Binance Telegram channel and having an AI low-key doing sentiment analysis on what people are posting, right? Well, that's public because Telegram makes that data available via the API. So if you're in any public Telegram groups, you should know that your data could be mined, right? If it's public. But we're trying to help you make money and 100x. So that in itself is going to be huge. Right? I'm not sure if Lunar Crush is even doing that, right? Because we can go through and have an AI monitoring public Telegram groups for sentiment, right? Because the AI will be customized to that, right? So that in itself is going to be a huge, huge lifesaver, right? Actually, let me see if I could. Probably not a good idea to pull up because we had a presentation on this that we shared internally, but that in itself is huge, right? So that's the first, I would say, game changer that's coming in 2021. Then the next game changer, we're working on automated trading. Automated, well, not automated, but I mean automatic TA, automated technical analysis. So imagine having an AI do the TA for you, kind of like what Bill does, but imagine taking those 6,000 coins, any coin you want, having the TA done for you automatically. That is also huge, right? Just think about that. Being able to pull up your favorite coin in your portfolio and have the technical analysis automatically done for you. I mean, that is a game changer as well. This I can show. Let me pull this. I'll put this up here on the screen here. Right, so I'll kind of show you what our quant team is working on at the moment. Right, so this is kind of an internal document, not financial advice, all the typical disclaimers. But imagine we're going through, and right now we have 90 trading indicators. 90. Just think about that. Because right now in Token Metrics, we have about 18, 20 or 23, I think. Let's say 2023. And we're expanding to 90, 90. Then we'll have the AI go through, combine all those indicators into one single super indicator. But it gets better, right? Because from listening to feedback from other people, we're doing that, but now applying it to all tokens and making it visual, right? Based on feedback, right? So imagine getting your favorite indicator and having it, right? So imagine you wanted to know where the support and resistance lines are, right? So we'll have the AI do all of this visually, right? Right now, all these are separate indicators, but we're going to combine them into one visual indicator, right? Now, I am aware that I think Ivan on Tech has like his BSI indicator. So, and there are other trading indicators. I know Tone Bays has one and some other people, right? But that's just on Bitcoin, right? So if you go to TradingView and you view all those indicators, we're basically packaging all that up into one super indicator, because nobody wants to follow 90 indicators, right? What we'll do is simplify that and have the AI figure out which one works for that coin, and then visually show you when it's bearish and when it's bullish, when to buy the dip, when to sell. Not financial advice, right? Right. But that in itself is huge, because honestly, if we do that right and it works, nobody will have to ever do TA ever again. I mean, we might put lots of traders out of business, honestly, lots of YouTubers out of business. But I mean, that's the future of AI. AI is coming for the throne. AI is taking people's jobs. Okay, somebody's saying BSI works for all tokens. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. So we're basically doing that, but with AI. Somebody's saying AI is a satanic creation to try and copy God as an all-powerful, all-knowing being. Okay. I dropped this fast, Ian. Yeah, so we're working on it. So we just made a new hire. Actually, he was working with us as an intern, then part-time. Now he's coming on board full-time, and he's working on this. Like the quant stuff is about to blow up. So just to recap, we have sentiment analysis coming for all tokens in 2021. No exact time frame yet. We have Token Metrics 2.0 coming. We have trading, basically automated technical analysis for all tokens powered by an AI. I mean, we're basically trying to create an AI that will be the god of crypto, right? no offense to my God believers. Maybe I'll rephrase that. We're trying to create an AI that will be the king of crypto, right? This AI will know everything about crypto. And the other thing we're working on, which this is probably very, very early. This is probably not even for 2021. This is probably 2022. We want our AI to be able to do automated investment reports. Yes, investment reports using AI. What does that mean? So you've seen, for those who are our customers, you've seen the investment reports we have. Let me pull up one for Helium. Because that's the holy grail. This is where I would like to take the AI for tokenmetrics, but it's probably, honestly, this is very, very experimental. Not even sure if we can achieve this, but if we do, oh man, so imagine, so this is an investment report that we sent out to our customers on Helium. It's almost 40 pages long, right? So check this out. Imagine if an AI could write this for you, right? Imagine if you could get all those 6,000 tokens and automatically create an AI-based investment report, right? Obviously, I mean, so getting to this level of detail is going to take time, and honestly, it could be impossible, but it's ambitious, and that's where we would like to take tokenmetrics, right? So, and by the way, if you like these investment reports, let us know. Actually, that's me in San Francisco at their offices, right? But we think this is what tokenmetrics could become, right? The future is boundless. There's so many possibilities, right? But everything was not built in a day, right? We have to get there in baby steps. So the first step would be maybe just creating a one-page summary based on the AI, having the AI go through all the data we have and turn that into a report, and then just kind of building upon that template. So this vision is probably like several years out, honestly. What else do we have coming up? Then we have the asset allocator, being able to take our AI-based indices and make them fully automated and tradable using Ethereum smart contracts. Basically a DeFi asset allocator. So there are projects out there like DeFi Pulse Index. There's token sets. There's what's the other one? There's one that they just launched, I think like Psi something. So the other indices out there, but ours will be based on our AI. And right now we're about 80% complete. We're testing on the Ethereum testnet. And it basically does the trading using 1inch exchange. So when that comes, that could be big. Actually, that I would say the asset allocator is the biggest thing we're working on. The next big thing, sentiment analysis, and then the automated TA, right? But honestly, our vision is to make tokenmetrics the only site you'll ever need in all of crypto. If you're an investor or trader, why would you go to TradingView when we have TradingView on the site and we do automated TA for you? And the AI can tell you what indicator actually matters, as opposed to you just guessing or sticking to one indicator, right? We can backwards test and use the ones that actually work, right? And being able to have the investment reports, like we're trying to become, in a way, the Bloomberg terminal for crypto, right? And then with Tokenmetrics, our channel and our content is kind of like us creating the Bloomberg TV, right? So we have Tokenmetrics Media and the TV and the content creation, and we have Tokenmetrics the platform, and then the asset allocator. So that's the unofficial roadmap update on Tokenmetrics. Let me see if there are any questions or comments on that. Appreciate Tokenmetrics pushing the limits. Thank you, Aronson. We appreciate it. Our investment reports for professional subscribers. No, so we send them these out via the email, but we haven't been sending these out as much. But we do cover them on, well, not the actual written report, but mainly right now we've kind of switched to code reviews because fundamentals didn't matter as much. in the last half year or so. It's been mainly been the code, right? So we've been sending out weekly code reviews, basically 1 or 2 paragraphs. Now, what we did send out, let me see if I can pull this up. What was it? Coin DeFi. So this is what we sent out to our customers. And thank you to everybody who shared feedback. Yes, there was an error on one of the reports. We'll make sure to fix that for next time. Yeah, so let us know if you like the new format. But this is basically a very short code review on 4 projects: MStable, Marlin, MonterDAO, and Coin DeFi. Right, we basically shared the grades. All right, so this is done by a developer. All right, kind of very quick summary on the project and basically how we think it is, right? And we send these out every single week, right? So we actually had one on Graph, GRT. Let me see if I can pull that up. Do I even have that graph? Okay, maybe yeah, I don't think I have that. But anyway, shout out to anybody who made money on Graph. Based on the code review, if you got in, it's always good to land on the moon Lambo. All right, sorry, to land in the moon with a Lambo. Alrighty, let me see what else we got here. People underestimate AI's potential. Oh man, AI is the future. AI is the future. I mean, honestly, because people have no idea. Like the future is going to be AI based. If you've seen, if you've seen that show, if you've seen Westworld on HBO, if you haven't, go see that show. I love that show. It's basically short version. It's a Western with AI. That was like the first few seasons. Then the next part, they're in the future. But basically, the AIs are running the world. Now, not to say that we're going to get there, but we could. I mean, because if we really project all the way out to kind of go off the deep end here for a bit, humans could become androids. I mean, because humans are always searching to live longer. What if, I mean, because that's what Elon Musk is doing with his company. What's that company? Where they're trying to implant basically computers or AI into people's brains. Oh, Neuralink, right? I mean, just think about that. Elon Musk is building Neuralink. And first of all, shout out to Elon Musk. I mean, this guy, I mean, second richest person in the world. Elon Musk is probably going to be the first trillionaire ever. I mean, because Tesla is the future, because there already talks about California banning, I think, gas cars by 2030. So we already know electric cars are the future, right? Then he has SpaceX. He's taking humanity to space. That's going to be worth trillions. Then he's building Neuralink, trying to turn humans into, trying to merge humans with computers and AI. I mean, this guy might, what's after trillionaire? Like quadrillionaire? I mean, this guy's going to be so rich. This guy's going to be buying his own planets. But yeah, AI is the future. It's the future, right? So that's why everything we're doing, we're trying to make everything AI powered. Like, honestly, we're not afraid of taking people's jobs away because they're going to go away regardless. Like, AI is coming for people's jobs, right? So if we build an AI that can do trading, do technical analysis, do investment reports, and do it all, that's better because now people can take back their time and do other things, right? And it can be more efficient. So AI is the future, is coming for everything. If you're in an industry where AI is coming for your industry, best thing I can say is gotta get out the way. Get out the way. Don't be the last one off the ship. Find a nice place to bounce into, or find a nice way to complement the AI, right? Because I mean, humans will still be a part of the creation of the AI, always, unless we build AIs that have general intelligence that can then build other AIs, which is what GPT-3 is trying to do, right? Which is pretty mind-blowing, right? But that's basically it. I mean, then our other vision, imagine if we got token metrics, we took everything we had and the AI, and it was kind of like Siri. Right? You spoke with it, and it told you anything about any token. Now, imagine you ask the AI, hey, what do you think about Cardano? What do you think about Graph? What do you think about Haley Network? And it told you everything on point, right? Either through a written report or through even just talking to it, right? Kind of like, imagine like an app like Siri, right? You talk to it and it tells you, man, that is the future. And what a beautiful world. what a beautiful future that is. So that's what we're working on. That's what keeps me up at night. Okay. Will there be a token for token metrics? No comment. I am legally obligated to say no comment. But hey, you know, we're bullish on crypto. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. All right. Yeah, Bill is family. Are you planning to put on-chain data in this indicator? Yes. Actually, let me pull all this up, guys. Let me show you how we're about to change all of crypto. Not to toot our own horns here, but I mean, the kind of meetings we're having with our quant team, data science team, I mean, this stuff is just, I mean, I love it. I'm trying to, what happened to my, okay, my tab's closed. Let me open up all these tabs. Please bear with me. This is the kind of stuff. Actually, we've been sharing this with our customers. Well, actually, not all our customers, but professional network. We did share this with them. But I'll show you what's coming. I'll show you what's coming. This is going to be, actually, maybe I probably not get to share. I don't think the team would like that, but I can speak to it. Right? Let me see if I can move this. Just bear with me here. I'm trying to see if you guys can see my face. Is that better? You guys can see my soul now? Okay. All right, so let's do a deeper dive into the new data points coming to Tokenmetrics 2.0. Okay. So the first part, so we're talking about how AI is gonna just completely take over the world and crypto, right? Well, we're building an AI that's really trying to take over crypto, right? Yes, it's a work in progress, but the first thing we want to do is take what we're doing before with fundamental analysis and technology and code reviews and automate that, right? So when I said we're taking people's jobs, like nobody is immune. Like even people doing code reviews, we're taking the jobs too. No offense. All right. So imagine the fundamental analysis we're doing, looking at basically the social media, the reach, the traffic, the marketing, all that. We're trying to find ways to quantify everything and make everything purely objective, purely number-based, right? Hence the name quant grade. The fundamentals part is more challenging, but that can still be done. In terms of the metrics we're looking at here, basically we can factor in such as, are they on our well-known exchange, right? So if a project gets added on Coinbase, it's a pretty legit project, right? Because they've kind of basically passed the test for Coinbase, right? Do they have any fiat on ramps or pairs, web traffic, the size of the community, mainstream media? Are they in the press, right? Have they been talked about on Wall Street Journal, Forbes, right? All that. trading volume, total supply, how many tokens are being burned, are they inflationary, deflationary, supply, right? So that part falls under fundamentals. And the goal is to make that purely objective. Then here comes the part I haven't talked about. And this part, oh man. I mean, this part is also a game changer. I mean, this is why I love working for Tokenmetrics. So we're building an AI that can go, so let me take a step back, right? So I talked about we're going from 500 coins to 6,000 next month. And then for Tokenmetrics 2.0, we will have an AI, a machine learning model that can go to all these probably not 6,000, to any project on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap that has an open source GitHub repository that's publicly available, and it will download their code into our servers, and we'll do automated code analysis and review. What does that mean? So imagine, so the code reviews that developers are doing, right, going through the code, that takes time, right? We've come up with a way to automate that. So we can download all these projects' code from GitHub into our servers on AWS and test the code for vulnerabilities, for securities and holes, right? To see if it can be hacked, to see how good the commenting is, the documentation, all kinds of things, right? So some of the things we're looking at in terms of, and all these are quantifiable. There's no human bias, right? These are just facts, right? So the data points we'll be looking at will be number of lines of code, commits per month, active developers, how well is the code commented, the developer's history, number of stars, forks on the repository, pull requests, closed issues opened by other developers, vulnerabilities, code smells. I mean, looking at this, we have about 20 data points just on code. And the AI will do all of this, right? So, and whenever there are new updates in the code, it will download that code into our servers and it will do AI on it, right? So in a way, it's kind of doing not quite an audit, but I guess you could call it an audit. We've basically built an AI that can audit code, right? Well, actually, it's not, it's basically looking at the numbers and then finding the weights, backwards testing them to find out what matters, right? So we think that's going to be huge, right? So you'll never have to do a code review ever again with the new Tokenmetrics. I mean, just think about it. We're basically layering in new improvements, right? Never having to do code reviews ever again, never having to do TA ever again. I mean, you could if you want to, right? But you don't have to be a developer expert to do code reviews anymore, because our platform will do it for you, right? Then the next data points we're adding on-chain data. So data from Bitcoin's blockchain, data from Ethereum's blockchain, data from ERC20 tokens, data from DeFi and DEXs, right? Total value locked. So all that data on DeFi pools, all that, we would like to add that to our platform and have the AI take care of all that, right? So the AI is just going to gather, at this point, almost 1,000, maybe even over 1,000 data points, and it goes through all that data, and it tells us what actually matters, and it builds a grade based off of that, right? So this is literally the, like it knows everything. Like the AI is kind of like the all-seeing, all-knowing AI for crypto. Yeah, I think somebody's saying goosebumps. Yeah, that does give us goosebumps, right? I mean, that's going to be huge. I mean, so that's why I've been working. Our team has been grinding, but that's the future. I mean, AI is the future. Being able to do code reviews, TA, investment reports, all that. I mean, that's the vision. That's where we're trying to take Tokenmetrics. So that's the on-chain data. We want to add staking data, staking rewards, right? We also want to add data from other markets, from the Fed and Treasury. Whenever they print money, the AI will know. and put that into its analysis. Futures contracts, so getting other markets, so US markets, European markets, global markets, right? Commodities, all that data will be factored in. Bonds data, right? US bonds, corporate bonds, because that does factor in. As you guys have seen, Bill does look at corporate bonds and yield. Housing data, being able to look at mortgage rates, sale prices for homes. I mean, maybe the AI can figure out that, hey, when housing data goes down or up, that usually means a recession in equities, which could mean crypto goes up. Who knows, right? The AI will have that data and will let us know if that matters. Commodities, I mentioned, S&P data, right? Global economic data, such as we have stock prices, Big Mac index for different countries around the world, import-export data, NASDAQ indices, sentiment I talked about, but also different economic sentiment surveys, right? Like there's an investors sentiment survey. There's also a survey from University of Michigan on consumers, right? Such as the consumer index, hedge fund data, and indices. So all this is going to be added in Tokenmetrics 2.0, and the AI is going to figure this out, right? And hopefully make all of us a boatload of money, right? But yeah, that's what we're working on. And I mean, all I can say is,
We just landed on the moon in a Lambo.
right? So let me see here. Let me get to the comments. Tokenmetrics 2.0 will be huge. I got no doubts about it. For sure, one of my 2021 picks. Thank you, appreciate it. Is that Tommy? Literally to the moon and beyond. Okay, Abraham, you think you have a question about your subscription? So the comments are going so fast, and it won't let me see all the comments because this has been, I think, almost 4-hour live stream or 3-hour live stream. James says you won't need humans anymore. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but that's the future, unfortunately, right? Like, so imagine that world. Imagine a world where we don't need humans to do investment analysis, right? Imagine an AI. I mean, it has the term robo-advisor, right? That's a common word, but imagine, what does that actually look like? What does a robo-advisor look like that can trade for you, do code reviews for you, do investment analysis and reports for you? What does that look like? Looks like Tokenmetrics. Not financial advice, all right? But we have to build that world because it's coming, right? And somebody has to do it for crypto. So that's definitely the future. All right, but yeah, so tell us what you think, or tell me what you think down below. Let me know. Do you like that world? I mean, I know I sure do, right? Whatever takes us to the moon and beyond. That's the mindset. By 2025, we can make Tokenmetrics $1 billion valuation. Okay. But honestly, that's too long. I mean, at the rate we're going, I'm just thinking about it. In crypto companies, I mean, first of all, thank you to our community. You guys have been great. We're now almost approaching 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. We could not be here without you. Thank you to our customers. We also could not be here without you. You guys make us who we are, right? So, I mean, all these companies, like Coinbase's valuation is going to be like, let's say around 30 billion for their IPO. I mean, that's a lot of money, right? But honestly, let me just turn this on. We are solving the biggest problem in not just all of crypto, but all of capital markets. When you realize how big an issue that is, I mean, because all these crypto companies, they're trying to do X, Y, Z, but not to belittle them, but their problems are small, right? Because just think about it. if you're bullish on crypto, you believe, right, to kind of go to first order thinking, as Elon Musk likes to do, right? To go to the foundation, the pillar, right? If you're bullish on crypto, if you're here watching this video, you're bullish on crypto. You have to believe that money will leave legacy markets, capital markets, stocks, real estate, other markets, and flow into crypto and get tokenized. And that's step one, right? I think we all can agree that that's going to happen. It's already happening. Institutions are FOMOing into Bitcoin. They'll FOMO into Ethereum. They'll FOMO into altcoins, right? And we were early. We were here waiting on them, and we're taxing them, right? They're buying our bags, basically. So if you believe in that, then what does that world look like once they're in? Not just institutions, but even retail investors and traders. What does that world look like? What's the biggest problem they'll have after they're in crypto? How to invest in crypto. So Token Metrics fundamentally is helping people solve the problem of how to invest in crypto, how to efficiently allocate capital in crypto. And I bet you $1 million, like, show me a problem that's not as big as that. I mean that's bigger than that. You can't find one, because there is no ceiling on that problem. There is no cap on that problem. I mean, because as money flows into crypto, the only cap on it is the amount of money in the world. And if money is being printed, and money can be printed indefinitely, forever and ever, that means to the moon and beyond. I mean, there is no limit to how much money can come into crypto and how much money we're trying to, I mean, how much money we can help people allocate in crypto. Because if trillions come into crypto, what does that look like down the road? It'll be more than trillions, right? It's kind of like it keeps on growing indefinitely. There is no completion ever in terms of money. Money is in the constant state of being created, right? So as that money flows in and that value flows in, people will need ways to invest that money. And that's what we're trying to solve, right? So when you say $1 billion valuation, I mean, just think about this. Vanguard, the creator of the first index fund, has 6 trillion assets under management, 6 trillion AUM. If we go to the side of institutions, hedge funds, the world's biggest hedge fund is Bridgewater Associates. Bridgewater and Renaissance Technologies, the fund by Jim Simons, and Ray Dalio owns Bridgewater. Those two combined, they have, I believe, 200 billion AUM. Just amongst those two, I believe, right? So like, this is a huge problem, right? So like, we're not talking minor leagues here. We're talking like big leagues, right? So if that money gets tokenized, people need ways to invest. Because altcoins, that's why we're so bullish on altcoins. That's why this is where Bitcoin maximalists are fundamentally wrong. Because it's basically the question is Bitcoin or the field, Bitcoin or long tail. And we're betting on the long tail of crypto. We're betting that Bitcoin will have its use case that's pretty much fixed. Right now, it's basically store of value. That use case is fine, but that does not mean you can't create other cryptocurrencies to solve other use cases. That's just pure stupidity in my book, right? Because to believe that one cryptocurrency will solve all the world's problems and you don't need to have other use cases, that's like saying, I only believe, like, imagine going back to the beginning of the internet, like in the 80s or 90s. It's like saying, I only believe there'll be one website, right? That's purely stupid, because there's so many websites nowadays, and it's even hard to estimate the number of websites that are available, because they're always creating new websites. Like, there is no cap on the number of sites. Like, I myself have so many sites. So we're taking that same approach in the long tail of crypto. that there will be other use cases that can be, and other cryptocurrencies that will solve other use cases, right? So to us, it's a no-brainer to be all in on altcoins. Like, if you're not in altcoins, then you're gonna miss out on this new world. It's like saying I only believe in one website. That's it. I'll get my news on one site on Yahoo back in the early 90s, right? But we're bullish on the long tail of crypto, right? As a result, we're bullish on altcoins, right? And that's where the money is, right? So that's kind of my view. I know I've been kind of rambling all over. I lost where I was trying to go. Let me check the comments here. Yeah, it's like saying Google will only have value, right? Yes, Google is good, but there are lots of other search engines. It's like saying there's only one video game. There's only one type of drink to drink, right? People like choice, right? So, I mean, that's why we're bullish on altcoins, right? But yeah, so let me know what you think. Are you excited for the future of AI and crypto and Tokenmetrics 2.0? Post down below. Abraham, contact support, just email support@tokenmetrics.com. They'll take care of you. If they don't, yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. Let me see. Right? Crypto is AI. Opinion on reserve rights. It's a good project. I used to have some. I was trading it. Then the market tanked in September. Can you guys provide more short videos on how to get the highest value from Tokenmetrics data, please? We've been posting them on the channel, but we'll definitely do a lot more. Slow and steady. We'll get there eventually. Absolutely. The PayPal effect is only 10% priced in. The other 330 million who have yet to jump in will 10x crypto in 1 year. I mean, crypto can 40x because the world. So let me just make sure I can see myself here if I start talking. So crypto. So what's the potential for crypto right now, right? So according to the World Economic Forum, the WEF, they believe that by 2027, 10% of the world's GDP, gross domestic product, will be tokenized. What does that bring us to? That means crypto can get to a market cap of about 9 trillion, let's say 10 trillion, right? Crypto right now is at a market cap of, let me see, let me pull this up here. Give me 1 second. So market cap for crypto is 667 million. So if we're looking at 10, we can 15x from here. Yeah, so 10x easily, right? That's going based off what they think, right? And they ain't even in crypto. They're not in crypto. I mean, they're not crypto moon boys like us, right? So we think we can go to the moon and beyond. I mean, right? But a 15x is really a 150x if you're in altcoins, right? Because Bitcoin, honestly, Bitcoin went from like, yes, it did well from 3,000 to now 23,000, right? Not bad, not bad. Like a 7x, basically, right? But I mean, alts are moving. I mean, they've been doing a lot more than 7x, right? So that's where the long tail, that's how you get that Moon Lambo money. But yeah. How else can we support and be linked to Tokenmetrics? Big things. You can support by spreading the word. Get your friends to subscribe at tokenmetrics.com. Also have them watch the videos, the podcast, the newsletter. Spread the word. Get them into crypto. This become a crypto evangelist. Okay, all right. Ian, how many of your past projects were done? Sorry, how many of your last investments were done based on Tokenmetrics? So I got P Network based on Tokenmetrics, Synthetics, Helium. Well, Helium was kind of like I've been bullish on Helium since 2018. Ether. I mean, I've always had Ether. Yeah, I would say P Network was based off of token metrics. SNX based off of the quant grade, the yearly. Matic Network, I've been bullish on that since like 2018. But yeah, I mean, I use it. I like token metrics. Tokenmetrics will follow the same route as Coinbase, maybe, or Coin. Hopefully, we can join in your success. So yeah, I mean, so we're a company. We have equity investors in the company. So I mean, a pathway is possible IPO. In terms of crypto and coins or tokens, can't really comment on that. But I mean, we are bullish on crypto, the crypto space as a whole. That's what my legal team has advised. And we like to keep our options open, right? So we'll keep them as open as can be. But we do like to how do I put this? We like to be pillars of the crypto community. Okay, so we'll keep our options open. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's all I can say. But hey, let me know what you think. All right, what do you guys think we should do for tokenmetrics? Because 2021 is going to be quite the year. It's going to be quite the year. As mentioned, we have lots in store. So just enjoying, enjoying the 2020 has been a great year. We're wrapping it up. As mentioned, we have the 12 days of tokenmetrics. So speaking of that, tomorrow we have an AMA 100x show with Munib Ali, the CEO of Blockstack. So for anybody out there who's an investor in Blockstack, be sure to tune in. Let me see if I can get the date here. Okay, maybe I cannot. I mean, it's tomorrow. Sorry, I want to get the time. I think it's like around 4:30. So the live stream will be (4:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's New York time to all our global audience. Yeah, so tune in, bring your questions. I think it's going to be fun. Blockstack is a legit project. So Munib will be trying to build the case for how because they're basically building a blockchain that is secured by Bitcoin, and bringing dApps essentially to Bitcoin is what he'll be covering. So it should be a good one. Okay. TM logo is mineable gold. I want to eat the cookie. If you make a Chrome extension, it will be a cookie darling. Okay. Not sure I understand that. Okay, here's a good question. If you were to gift a friend some coins for their birthday, what would be your 3 favorite coins? Great question. First one, Helium Network. I talked about that. I'm mining that in the back. Second one would be Ethereum. Third one would be, that's a tough one. What would be the third one? So we got ETH, we got Helium Network. Honestly, probably a Bitcoin. Just to say you have Bitcoin. Yeah, so probably those are the 3 coins I would give. But let's say I wanted to make it super interesting, all right? Let's say I wanted to gift them coins that I think could really blow up, like 100x, 1000x. Helium. Outside of that, I'd probably say a DeFi project. Synthetics, SNX. I mean, I think what they're doing for derivatives is huge. Aave is one of them, right? So in no particular order, I do own SNX and HNT. Aave, I don't own any. But yeah, I mean, but ETH, I mean, people are sleeping on Ethereum. Ethereum's gonna be number one market cap. Mark my words. Write it down, pin it. Right? If Ethereum does not surpass Bitcoin in market cap by 2030, I mean, I should make that a bet. What bet should I do? If Ethereum has not surpassed Bitcoin in market cap by 2030, and you see me in real life, I'll buy you dinner, right? Wherever we are. But anyway, yeah, I mean, because ETH, I talked about it. Bitcoin currently only has 230 active developers. Ethereum has 2,300 active developers. Think about that. Right? So eventually it's going to happen. Whether it takes 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, it's going to happen. Right? Because developers are building on Ethereum. All these new altcoins launching, DeFi, they're building on Ethereum. Like ETH is the play. ETH is the move. And once institutions get into Ethereum, oh man, I mean, to the moon and beyond, to the moon and beyond. So I feel like if I'm gifting anybody something and I don't give them Ethereum, that is a financial crime. That is a financial crime right there. That's a crypto crime. That's a just service to your friend, right? But hey, let me know, what would you give to your friends? I want to know. Let me know down below. Why is no one bullish on XRP? Well, I mean, it's not really, I mean, because I know we have lots of people on XRP. I'll go through the value prop for XRP, right? So XRP, they're printing, actually not XRP, I'm sorry. Let me differentiate this. XRP and there's Ripple. Ripple, the company, they're printing money. I mean, they're printing money. After Coinbase, they'll likely be the second IPO. Assuming Bitmain and Binance don't do IPOs anytime soon, but Ripple has talked about doing an IPO this year. So likely next year they'll do one, especially after Coinbase does one. And that's going to be big, right? Ripple is printing money. Then XRP, the token, is not really used, right? So it has really no utility. That's what people or the XRP haters say about it, right? Because it's really used, it's centralized, it's owned by the company, they own most of the supply. So in a way, it's not really decentralized. But if we put that aside, who cares? If you're making money, you're making money, right? So XRP is basically a banker's coin. But you know what? I don't care, right? XRP will always have a place in my heart because that was my first 10x investment in crypto. I got in at 3 cents, sold at 36 cents. Now, the downside of XRP is Ripple, the company, market makes it, or they have a third-party company that does the market making, and they sell their own token. So as a result, there's constant selling pressure on their own token. And it's constantly keeping the price down. Because they're selling like $250 million, I think, every quarter, right? That's a lot of money. That keeps the price down. Imagine if they didn't sell that. Ripple would be like at $3, maybe even higher than that, maybe $10. Now, because they're selling all the time, it keeps the price down, right? So I think that's why people might not like Ripple, right? But I'm kind of, I don't really care, right? I just care about making money as investors should, right? And traders should. But to our XRP army, let us know, what do you like about Ripple? Why do you like Ripple or XRP? Let me know down below. All right, so that's that. I've been going. It's been a marathon session. Gonna go have dinner. Gonna go watch some Power. Actually, not Power. Yeah, Power. Ghost Book 2. I love that show. Actually, I just watched this show on HBO. It's called The Industry. It's about like these investment bankers, students, not students, like they're called graduates in the UK. Watched like one episode, pretty interesting. Might watch that too. But I'm just waiting on billions. I love shows about making money. Making money is a professional sport. I mean, just think about that. I know I said I was going, but let me just talk about this. Making money is a professional sport. But the beauty in it is once you figure it out, you fall in love with it, right? Like making money, like I view myself as a financial athlete. I was just talking about this the other day. I'm not sure if that's even a word, but if it is, I think let's coin that word, right? We're financial athletes. Like this is what we do. Like making money is a sport. But if you think about it, making money is easy. Once you figure it out, because I view making money as a science. It's almost like its own scientific subject, right? Because people think making money is luck. There's no luck in making money. Yes, but there's opportunities that present themselves. And if you're prepared, people call you lucky, right? But luck is preparation meeting opportunity. Opportunity strikes you all the time, but if you aren't prepared for it, you never get lucky, right? So making money, there is no luck to it. So you have to follow a systematic process, right? Or I should say making and keeping money, right? And just like with science, take for example, physics. You can try to not follow the rules of physics or the laws of physics. Guess what? Physics does not care, right? If you go and fall off a cliff, gravity won't care about your feelings. Okay? Gravity is what gravity does. So making money is the same way. Once you realize that, and you view making money as a science, and you realize that doesn't matter about your feelings. Like doesn't matter how many times you FOMO into something, right? It will teach you that lesson until you master that lesson. But once you realize that, okay, this is a lesson I have to learn, like even like the last bear market, lots of people got wrecked, right? Lots of people lost money. But if they didn't learn that lesson, they'll get wrecked again. So when you fail in something, in this case, investing, trading, or let's say being a financial athlete, you have to view it as a stepping stone to something even greater. You have to view it as a teaching lesson. And that's how you master money, right? Because let's take investing in crypto, right? Since this is a crypto show. Investing in crypto, if you FOMO into something and you end up losing money, what's the lesson in that? The lesson is one, don't FOMO. But if you never learn that lesson, you'll always lose money or you'll never make money, right? Because making money comes from your failures, right? So that's why when I invest in something, I always do my own research. Like I've never ever invested in something without really doing my own research. I mean, yes, you could like outsource it, but then there'll be no lesson in it for you, right? If that makes sense. But what you could do, right? If you're going to outsource, you have to really make sure the people you're outsourcing to, you have to do your research on them, right? For example, like I'm not doing code reviews, right? But I have a team that does code reviews, right? But I've researched them, right? I've done my homework on them. I've quizzed them, tested them, interviewed them, right? And I've taught them our process. So there's trust in that. But yeah, I mean, we're financial athletes, and we're financial athletes playing a game of science. Once you have that mindset, making money is easy. right? And when I say financial athlete, I say the word athlete because, like, what does LeBron do? LeBron James, right? The best athlete. What does Cristiano Ronaldo do? Lionel Messi, right? Take the best athletes. What do? They're always in tip-top shape, right? So same thing. We have to do the same thing financially. We have to make sure we're always reading, doing our research, and pushing the edge, and always aspiring for greatness. But you also have to be willing to give up good to get to great. You have to be willing to sacrifice. But once you figure that out, I mean, you can make money easy. And you have to be willing to put in the time, put in the work, make the big bets. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Let me check the comments here. 1 + 2 equals 1 + 1 = 2. Facts, no feelings. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys for the comments. Be sure to smash the like button if you guys are enjoying this. Financial athletes, Olympics on the moon. Keeping money is not easy though. Oh yeah, I mean, I would say keeping money is easy if you've lost it and you learned your lesson. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, the first bull run, oh man, I was on.
We just landed on the moon.
Man, I thought, dude, to show you how naive I was, I'm just thinking about this. I literally thought I was going to flip shitcoins and become a billionaire. Like, looking back at it now, it sounds so ridiculous. But back then, because like in 2017, the ICO mania, we literally thought we could, because we were flipping these ICOs like pancakes, man. We were putting in 5K, getting 50K, putting in 50K, getting $500,000, right? Because I turned about 20 grand, and then I was also kind of dollar cost averaging and stuff, but basically 20 grand into like 5 million in a year, right? So so at that time, of course I thought I was gonna flip 5 million to 50 million and flip 50 million to $500 million and flip $500 million to 5 billion and buy the Lakers or the Knicks or the Wizards NBA team, right? Because I was like, we had a system where we're flipping these pancakes and crypto is the future. Of course, this is going to work. But obviously, that did not pan out. Eventually, the music stopped and we came back to reality. But to just think about it, right? Obviously, that was a lesson for all of us to learn, myself included, right? And the lesson was, I mean, to learn the market cycle, right? Because I learned that there was the bull run. Because let's say the bull run for crypto was what? Because I got into, let's say 20, for me it was 2016, 2017, and early beginning of 2018. Let's say the first quarter, maybe the first half of the year, right? That was a bull run. Then that bear market, man, that was brutal. That was a brutal bear market. Went from 2018 till 2019, right? But it felt like forever. Felt like forever, right? And that crash where alts lost 95% of their value almost, somewhat to zero. Ether lost 90%. Bitcoin lost 85% of its value to go from 19K to like 3K. Oh man, that was brutal. But there was a lesson. And the lesson was, man, get it while the getting is good, right? Like tomorrow is never promised. Like when things are going up, they won't go up forever. They won't go up indefinitely, right? And it also taught me that markets are a science. In a way, they kind of evolve, right? There's an evolution in markets. Markets are always competing and evolving and getting smarter. And the other side is competing with the other side, buyers and sellers. And as they evolve, right, it's a game. It's a sport, financial athletes, right? Because one side learns, okay, this is what we have to do to get better. And the other side learns, okay, these people are taking advantage of this. We have to do this to survive, right? It's it's so fascinating, so fascinating, right? So once again, I said making money, right? We're financial athletes playing a game of science. Once you have that mindset, so anyway, the person was saying keeping money is hard, right? Well, if you've made money and lost money, you have to make the money again. So you have to have learned how to make that. So one, because anybody can have a fluke, right? As we mentioned, we talked about luck earlier, but to make it again, it's not luck, right? So with me, like that's why I just love playing the game, because you can try so many different things. Because just think about it. Imagine if you're able to make millions in so many different ways. Like me, myself, I've made millions investing in crypto. I've made millions from building a consulting company, 100x Advisors. I've made millions through creating content, through advertising and sponsors. I've made millions through building a software company, right? So that gives me the confidence to say, okay, you know what? Making money is easy, but it's prior to all that, there were lots of failures. Like I've launched so many businesses that failed. And all those failures are what allowed me to now make these other businesses successful, right? So it's a constant playing the game that makes you an athlete, but it's learning the lessons from your past mistakes and realizing that this is science, and science does not care about your feelings. If you don't respect the laws of physics when building an airplane, or like even Elon Musk, right? With SpaceX, they're building rocket ships to go to the moon. If they don't respect the laws of physics, that's coming straight down. That's going to crash. So if you have that same mindset with making money, it makes you pay attention to the details. But most important of all, it makes you learn from the lessons from your past mistakes. Because if you don't learn from them, you're like that person taking that rocket ship to the moon, but not paying attention to the laws of physics. And that rocket ship is going to come down crashing. So all I can say is go back, look at your past mistakes, and ask yourself, what lesson is here that I haven't learned? Because the market is brutal. The market is the science. It does not care about your feelings. If you haven't learned that lesson, like don't FOMO, or do your own research, or only put in money you're willing to lose. Then making money is tough, right? And then keeping the money, same thing, right? The lesson is be conservative. Don't spend more than you're willing to lose. Have savings, right? Like with me, because where I messed up in the last bull run, I was treating my crypto money like a bank account, right? Which is where I messed up, right? My crypto should have been allocated as just long-term investments, not for spending, right? But when you're seeing money multiply, right, go from 50K to $500,000, you're like, yeah, who cares? I'll make more next month. But after the bear market, oh man, you learn those lessons real quick, right? Don't treat crypto as a bank account. Learn taxes. Like taxes is one way to keep your money, right? So like all these things matter, right? Because I know lots of people. Okay, I know lots of people in 2017, they made a killing, lost that money in 2018, but the taxes they owe, they can't pay that. They have to look into like doing offers and compromises and stuff, right? So all those lessons come from playing the game and by being a financial athlete. Like, let me just check the comments real quick here. All right, well, with that being said, thank you, everybody. Yeah, 3 hours strong. We out now. For real, for real. I appreciate it. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next stream. And as mentioned, we're doing the Tokenmetrics 12 days of Tokenmetrics. Today was the first day. We're giving away $1,000, 1,000 US dollars. Go to our Twitter, tag us at Tokenmetrics Inc. Tag your favorite project. Tag a project you think will have the best return on investment in the next 7 days, starting from today. And then use the hashtag TokenMetrics. So tag the project, tag our Twitter account, use hashtag TokenMetrics, and say why you think that project would have the best return. The project has to be in the top 100 market cap. If it's not, then you're disqualified, unfortunately. And we'll announce the winner on the next live stream. All right, so we definitely want to give away the $1,000. And then the tiebreaker will be the tweet that has the most retweets. So once you post your tweet, reshare with all your friends, let them know, have them retweet it, reshare it, let them know your pick, and let's see who wins that $1,000. All right, we definitely want to give away some money in the holiday spirit, right? And help you hopefully flip that into a million or a billion. With that being said, as we like to say, the moon is not the, actually, hold on, I got my moon guy with me, right? The moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you, crypto family. I'll see you next time.